let's go here for round 26, the final day of the round we are on. Hey guys, how you going? So down BKR Sport, we are live as the Cronulla Sharks are going to be playing the Newcastle Knights at Sharky Park in Sydney for a game that means a hell of a lot for the Cronulla Sharks, that's for sure. Actually, I've just realised I've got to update this table because this table right here is actually incorrect right now because we had a bit of a... last night's Broncos-Cowboys game was very controversial, that's for sure. Very controversial, but for this ladder to make sense, we do, for this game to make a lot more sense, we do need to update it. So the Broncos do go into 4th position. 1 second here, put that there, move that bad boy there. And now we are Gucci. Let's move that down here so the Warriors are absolutely on fraud alert because they are. Oh boy, they are. Oh my goodness me. Everyone's on fraud alert. You got a fraud alert here, you got a fraud alert there, you got a fraud alert everywhere at this point. Gee whiz. Gee whiz, have we got anyone who's not a fraud right now except for the mighty Gold Coast Titans who play later on today? Oh my goodness me. It's just absolute scenes right now in the NRL. But like I said, today we've got this game, which is the Cronulla Sharks versus the Newcastle Knights, and then we will have the Redcliffe Dolphins fighting for their literal lives against the Gold Coast Titans, the team who are obviously going to be minor premiers. They were crowned minor premiers yesterday, the Titans, so really good stuff there. But we'll be live for both these games today. Obviously, guys, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get into it. So the Sharks, they come into this game from 6th position, whilst the Newcastle Knights come into this game from 16th position, and this is at Sharky Park in Sydney, Shark Stadium. Now, we'll point out, the Sharks, they need to win to keep their top 4 hopes alive, whilst the Knights, they need to win, because otherwise, if the Titans win, well, then guess what? Knights go down into last position. So both these teams are playing for something here today. Now, the ins for the Sharks are Braden Hamlin-Uele, Jaden Beryl, and Kale Iro comes back in. Huge inclusion to the Sharks. He's a massive centre there. He's really, really a bolter. So I'm looking forward to seeing Kale Iro back out on the field. Now, the outs, though, Cameron McInnes, Daniel Atkinson, and Tukahau Tupua. So Cameron McInnes is probably the biggest out there of the lot, which is a big loss. But, again, they're bringing back in a big forward in Hamlin-Uele and also their primetime centre in Kale Iro. Now, the fullback is William Kennedy. The wingers are Sione Katoa and Ronaldo Molitalo. He's stopped playing Fortnite for a couple of seconds to come and play some rugby league. Moini Hiroti and Kale Iro are the centres, with Braden Trindle as the 5'8", and Nico Hines as the halfback. Front row forwards are Adam Fanor-Blake and Toby Rudolph, with the number 9 being Blake Brayley, who is the captain. Interchange, back row, are Billy Burns and Teague Wilton, with the 13 being Jesse Colhoun. The interchange is Hohepa Peru, Siosifa Talakai, Thomas Hazleton, and Braden Hamlin-Uele, with the 18th man of placement being Jaden Beryl, and the coach is Craig Fitzgibbon. Now, if there was a team that most adopted the scam caliber this year, it would be the Cronulla Sharkies. Yes, they have been on scam for a lot of this year. They've been very disappointing, especially considering that I put them in the preseason as number 1 with their inclusion of Adam Fanor-Blake, but it hasn't to be. But they're still with a chance of the top 4, provided they win this game. We'll get to the ladder in a second, so we'd need to win by about 100 to go in today, which I doubt. But look, they're coming off a bye. The week beforehand, they got back to some good form, scoring 54 points against the Titans. They're in 17th, though, so who cares? But the Titans still scored 22 points. The Sharks clicked off a little bit late on in that game. Week before that, though, they lost the Dragons 22-14. Not a good loss there. The Dragons were coming off a win against the Raiders at the time. However, that's still not a good loss there, especially considering the Sharks usually put the sword to St. George. And then you go back to the Cowboys, where they beat them 32-12, beat the Rabbitohs in a disappointing game 14-12. But at least they got the 2 points. 31-18 win over the Roosters and 24-12 win over the Dolphins with the bye in between. It's actually quite funny because you do see across this season a lot of the time the between bye 2 and bye 3 teams are winning their games in between that section, and I'm noticing that across a couple of teams. And the Sharks have pretty much done that. When they had their second bye, they then won against the Dolphins, won against the Roosters, won against the Rabbitohs, won against the Cowboys. Yes, they lost that one game to the Dragons, but they also beat the Titans there. So a 5-1 in between bye 2 and bye 3. And like I said, I've seen that from a couple of teams. So it's an interesting little thing that a couple of teams have had bye 2 and bye 3 with 3 games. They've won all 3 games and whatnot. So it has been an interesting kind of noticeable factor in 2025 with that one. But look, I think the Sharks, should have well and truly enough to beat this Knights team here today. They're the team with the, I think, second most amount of errors in the competition right now. If you go into the stats across the teams for 2025, you go down to the negatives, and you do see in defense on missed tackles, the Knights are actually 5th last for missed tackles with 763. Teams above them are the Panthers, 822, Tigers, 823, Rabbitohs, 827, and Cowboys, 838. But you really go down to the negative play, and the Cowboys are massive on all of these. They're number 1 in handling errors, and ineffective tackles. But the Knights are third for errors. They are third for ineffective tackles, and they are also third for handling errors. So it's not a great sign there for the Knights. So realistically, the Sharks have no excuses here. They should be winning this game 13+. They should be winning this game 13+, and then obviously next week they will be taking on the Canterbury Bulldogs at a core stadium in Sydney. However, the Bulldogs probably rest their players. If the Sharks lost this game, no, they probably wouldn't rest their players because they still want to get a home final, and the Panthers could still get a home final. So they won't be resting regardless, but the Bulldogs, they're locked in for third position, so it doesn't really matter for them next week because that points differential of the Storm is just too much for them to overturn. Now, in regards to the Newcastle Knights, Greg Marzhew is in with the outs being Connor Vitano. The fullback is Dane Gagai, who is the captain, with the wingers being Dominic Young and Greg Marzhew. Comes in from the 18th man into the wing. Centres of Bradman Best and Fletcher Hunt, with the 5'8" being the number 9, Phoenix Crossland. He was originally hooker, now he's 5'8", and Jack Cogger is the halfback. And go to the props of Jacob Saifidi and Leo Thompson, and Jaden Brayley comes in from the 14 to the 9. You go to the back row, Jermaine McEwen and Kai Pearce-Paul, with the 13 being Tyson Frizzell. Interchange, Jake Arthur drops from the 6 to the 14. Matt Croker, Thomas Cant, and Elijah Salesa Leon Moana, with the 18th man replacement being James Schiller, who was originally meant to be a centre. Now he's the 18th man. Adam O'Brien is the coach. Look, if you've watched any rugby league this season, you know full well what this Knights team is. You know full well that if they get the spoon, they deserve it. If the Titans get the spoon, they deserve it. Whoever gets the spoon, they deserve it, because both teams have just been awful, and this Knights team in recent weeks has just been really awful. They lost 46-12 last week to the Broncos. Lost 38-4 to the Cowboys, despite the Cowboys having 23 errors in that game. The Panthers, they lost 48-12 to them. There was a bye. They lost 44-18 to the Raiders. They lost 20-15 to the Warriors. They lost 32-14 to the Storm. They lost 22-18 to the Raiders, and their last win comes all the way back on 21st of June against the Dolphins, 26-20. And they actually won 2 out of their 3 games in that kind of period. They beat Manly 26-22, and in between they had a loss to the Roosters, which was controversial, 12-8. But overall, their last win comes back on 21st of June. So they're on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 game losing streak coming into this, which would be their 8th game in a row. And again, the Knights, they are topping the table for a lot of really bad categories in errors, well, not topping the table, but top 3 at the very least, in errors and ineffective tackles and missed tackles and all that kind of stuff. So it's not been a good season for Newcastle. They're obviously moving on from Adam O'Brien, which has been a long time coming realistically. You can make a positive out of his career and say that the Knights have at least been making finals appearances throughout this period, and they have been able to I think get finals like 3 out of their 5 years or 4 out of 5 of their last years, something like that. So you can make an argument for Adam O'Brien, but I just think that unless you've got a direction where you can potentially win a competition in the future, you're actually pressing forward and you're actually improving on a significant level. So I'm going to turn this aircon down a bit more because it's actually quite warm right now. Give me 1 second here, guys. It's getting super hot otherwise. Just getting super hot. Bloody sweating me like a big gee whiz. So yeah, like you can make a relative positive there for Newcastle in that department, but overall, it's just not good. So unless you can see a direction going forward where you can potentially win a comp, it is probably best to cut ties, and they've done that. So not too sure where the Knights go into the future with their coach, but obviously Adam O'Brien will not be the guy there. Now, so I'm going to tip the Sharks here 13+. I'm going to tip the Sharks 13+. Yes, they can be underwhelming, but I do think the Sharks should have well and truly enough in them to get the win today and to win well, to push them into a good momentum into the finals, because they had the Titans game where they scored 50. And then they have the Knights, and then next week they have an understrength Bulldogs team, you would assume, so they should really get 3 solid wins on the trot there going into the finals, where we all know that Sharks haven't been great in finals in recent years. They haven't actually won a home final at Shark Park since about 2008, so, a home final doesn't really do too much for them. But at least with no Allianz, maybe they might give them that Sharky Park game. They will probably play the first week at Shark Park, and then obviously have to move to a core for the preliminary final / the second week of the finals kind of deal. But look, let's get into the ladder. Now, the Knights, they're in 16th position on 18 points. They're 2 points clear of the Titans, but they're 4 points short of the Dragons. So if they are to win today, they would go 20 points and pretty much guarantee them avoiding the spoon. The Titans would need to win both the Dolphins and also the Tigers game next week, and for that to happen, and the Knights would have to lose next week to the Eels. So look, if the Knights win this game, I feel like they do avoid the spoon. They're on a minus 220 points differential, but they would stay in 16th position. However, it gets tricky if they lose this game, though, because they're on 18, the Titans are on 16. 16, the Knights have a minus 220 points differential. The Titans have a minus 201 points differential. So if the Knights lose this game, the Titans just need to win by 1 point to go above the Knights when they play the Dolphins later on today. If the Titans won and the Knights lost, the Knights would actually finish this round in 17th position, which would be absolutely detrimental. So the Knights are playing here to avoid that spoon. And look, the Titans versus Dolphins realistically should be a Dolphins win, despite a 160-point deficit of points against in the last 3 weeks for the Dolphins. They conceded 64 to the Roosters, they conceded 38 to the Broncos, and they conceded 58 to the Manly Seagulls. But their season is hanging on a thread, so they need to win that game. So you'd still expect the Dolphins to win that game in a very high-scoring affair, realistically. But with that being said, it's not like the Dolphins aren't beatable right now, and the Titans do have the Tigers. So, look, there's probably easier matchups here for the Titans than the Knights, and that's why it's getting a bit worrying for Newcastle. Not that any game is easy for either of these two teams. Then you go up to the Cronulla Sharks, who are in 6th position on 32 points. Now, their points differential is plus 67, which is okay at best. I wouldn't say it's that great. It's definitely better than the Warriors, and it's definitely better than Manly. But who cares about Manly? It's close enough to the Panthers, but the Panthers are on a different system because they're draw with the Cowboys that are on this year. So 32 points. If they lose this game, there is no team that can jump them. The Panthers are down there on 31, Roosters are 30. Dolphins, if they won, will get up to 28 or so. So the Sharks won't drop off any further than 6th. But if they win this game, however, they would go equal with the Warriors on 34 points and the Broncos on 34 points. Now, again, we welcome you back, Warriors fans, because your points differential is plus 22. So guess what? Sharks win. They go above you. Warriors will go into 6th position, and that's the lowest they can finish this season. All of these teams from 6th and above can only, well, Sharks need to win, but pretty much the top 6 teams, provided the Sharks win today, cannot finish anywhere lower than 6th. But if the Sharks win, they would go above the Warriors into 5th position. Now, the Broncos are on plus 156, and yes, very controversial that they're there, but at the end of the day, they are there. So that's 77, 87. That's about, basically, they have to win this game by about 80 points to go above the Broncos, which just isn't happening. But I think the thing that you need to consider is that if the Sharks can beat this Knights team, which they realistically should, by a country mile, if they could win this game by 50 points, right? If they could do that, 50, 60 points. Now, that's crazy to think 60, but 50, 60 points. If they do a 50 bomb, then that's 77, 87, 97, 107, 117, right? Now, so they'd be on plus 117, equal with the Broncos going into the final round. Now, the Storm play the Broncos in the final round. Don't know what the Storm do in regards to players. Probably rest their players, but we'll see. And then, like I said, the Bulldogs play the Sharks, and the Bulldogs probably rest their players. So the Broncos would have to win over the Storm, but if they do win by, say, 1 point, the Sharks would have to, that'd be plus 157. The Sharks being on plus 117, they need 127, 137, 147. They'd have to win by about 36 to 38 points against the Bulldogs, which would be a completely understrength team, which wouldn't necessarily be out of the equation with an understrength team, but still a lot to ask for. So it's not like if the Broncos and Sharks both win their remaining games, the Sharks could still technically get that top 4 spot, even if the Broncos win out, but it just makes it really difficult and starts to go down to Manly trajectory, where Manly is still in the hunt for the 8. They're on plus 28, they're on 28 points, and Roosters are on 30 points, but Manly on plus 20, Roosters are plus 102. There's 82 points they need to make up just next week, because next week is the final round of the regular season. So yeah, there's a lot to go on here, and I don't think the Sharks get top 4 if it does come down to that. But the point is that technically it is possible, right? So we'll just have to see how it all pans out over these last 2 games of this round, and then next round, and then we are into the finals, baby. But all right, let's get to the chat. Let's see what you are saying. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new around here. Sharks and Knights are about to come out in the field. Knights are walking out now. And let's see if they can get a bit of pride in the hunt, because it's been a struggle for them. It's definitely been a struggle for them. Oh, no. Someone's been timed out already, have they? Oh, no, they have. Yeah, no, they've been hidden already. Oh, my goodness me. Oh, my goodness me. Sean James, good morning, mate. Get around your Shauno. Brocky Sports says hello, hello. Brocky says Muppet Hour. Always Muppet Hour here, son. Always Muppet Hour here. Tyler says hopefully the Knights can end their Sharks' top 4 aspirations. Yeah, maybe, man, but I know you're a Broncos fan, so that's not coming from it's not coming from any other mindset. It's not coming from any other thought process. That's just you being a Broncos fan and hoping that's the case. But, you know, at the end of the day, I do think the Sharks should win this and win this well, and then it will come down to that final round next week. Shannon says, let's go Sharkies, do me a favour. Aren't you a Raiders fan, Shannon? What does this game have to do with you guys? At the end of the day, you're 5 wins clear of the Broncos in 4th, and you'd be 5 wins clear of the Sharks anyway. Aren't you didn't you say go Raiders? You're a Raiders fan, no? Or unless, are you a Titans fan? Because like maybe the Titans or something like that. Dadmate says, why aren't you streaming the Dogs Broncos NRLW game of the round? Thank you, mate. Appreciate that thought process. Probably going to say that we haven't streamed a single women's game this year. Not because I don't like the women's. I like the women's game. However, you're also losing that game 6-0, by the way, Daz. But it's just because the games are on during the NRL. So it's like if I'm streaming the Broncos versus Bulldogs in the women's game, I can't stream the Sharks versus Knights in the men's game. And we have built our channel on the men's game. So it's like if the women's games were on where they used to be before the game started and whatnot, I'd be able to stream a lot more of their games and all the games. But unfortunately, I cannot. But the Sharks will kick this ball off here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. The Knights will get the ball through Crossland, gives it off to Saifidi, and he'll get this ball out here to the 15. Now let me refresh this live score here before there's riots in the chat, and the riots will not happen. That will be second tackle here for the Knights at the 25. On their own side of the field. William says, hi bro, how you doing? Going alright, man. Nice and fresh. I'm actually heading off to Malaysia tomorrow. Because I was originally going to be going to Cambodia, but I'm up to Malaysia for a week tomorrow, so I'm really intrigued by what Malaysia has to offer. I never would have thought that, Malaysia's never really been high on my list, right? That's not to insult Malaysia, but it's just like, I feel like Australians don't really think of Malaysia too much. Like if you go in Southeast Asia, you're going to Thailand or Philippines or Bali, Indonesia, or you're probably going to Vietnam and stuff like that. And even probably more so Cambodia. I remember Malaysia did a lot of advertising. Will Candy brings his ball out to the 20 on first tackle. I know that Malaysia, truly Asia or something like that advertisement. Oh, it's a knock on from the Sharks on first tackle here at the 25. Yikes, Cronulla. Well, Knights going to get up to the attack here, which they can't do this year. I remember there was like an advertisement campaign that they absolutely pumped in for Malaysia, but I've never really thought about it. But anyway, I decided to go, so I'm going to go for a week. Tyler says, do you have an opinion on whether the Cows or Bronx were the better team last night, or hard to tell considering the poor calls? I think it's hard to tell considering the poor calls. So Knights get the ball hit the 20. It's very hard to tell. Like at the end of the day, it was extremely close until the bald man in the middle got involved. Look, I think that the Broncos still probably going to win that game, but it's ruined, right? It's ruined to have the thought process of what would have happened, woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't, because unfortunately there was an idiot in the middle who couldn't pick up a 5-meter forward pass for a try, which was a 2-point game at that time. So there was just so much that went into it. So I ignore that game, mate. I really do. I ignore that game. The game doesn't exist in my mind. And that's not to insult Broncos fans. It's just that the game was ruined for mine because you could not tell if the Broncos were going to get over the top of them or the Cowboys were going to be able to, fight their way back into the game. Which they were only down by 2 points at the time. Third tackle here for the Newcastle Knights at the 5. But again, Broncos statistically in the first half absolutely destroyed them. But again, they were only up by 4 points or something at half time. From a half-time try. All right, 6 again here for Newcastle. They're 1 metre out here from the line. They go out to Phoenix Crossland. Crossland short ball into the line. Kai Pearce-Paul. And Kai Pearce-Paul's second tackle. He's going to be 3 metres away from the line. Jason's Cambodia hot ticket at the moment also. Yeah, I did consider that. Oh, so close to a try for Newcastle. They're 1 metre away from the line. Third tackle. Damn, that was actually good cover defense there from the Sharks to prevent that. Crossland gives it out and short into the line, 10 metres away from the line, fourth tackle. It's actually good defense from the Sharks, and nice to throw about him. And straight up the guts through Leo Thompson, fifth tackle, 4 metres out. This defense on this set has been pretty good from Cronulla at the moment. Oh, that's really that's actually going to be a knock on here from the Sharks. Wow, that's very unlucky there for Cronulla. They have touched that, so it's going to be Knights who get a fresh set of 6 here, 10 metres out. Are they going to challenge this? Wow, you're going to challenge this? Well, this better be a successful challenge here, Sharks, because otherwise this is silly. It looked like it was definitely a knock-on. It looks like there's a knock-on coming up here. So, Nico Hines is the one who's challenged this, though. Or maybe not. Yeah, they're not challenging that, though, Bunker. They're challenging to say they didn't knock this ball on. Maybe Nico doesn't touch this ball. Oh, it comes off his knee. Oh, well, you're going to argue that's played at because he's coming... Oh, maybe not. It comes off his knee there. I would argue that it doesn't touch his hand. He's not playing at the ball with his knee. Oh, dude, I disagree, though. How can you say he's playing at the ball there? At the end of the day, he's playing the tackle, and his knee is there, and the ball gets thrown into his knee and then goes over the sideline. Challenge is unsuccessful. I've got to disagree with that call. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, okay, he's making... I've seen the complete opposite get called on many occasions. I'm really intrigued by that because I've seen that call get completely the opposite call in many other games in the past. But anyway, Knights here with the ball. They're 5 metres out from the line. First tackle. Sharks lose their challenge. It's just like Nico's not playing at the ball there. I understand how they've come to the conclusion, but I disagree with how they've come to the conclusion there. So the Knights now are going to be 4 metres away from the line. First tackle with the 6 again. They're getting plenty of attacking opportunity at the line here. Let's see if they can do something with it. Leo Thompson's going to be 2 metres short of the line. 2 metres out. Jaden Brayley gives it off to Crossland. Good rush-up defence there from Teague Wilton. Brings him down to the 10 on third tackle. Sharks defence has been pretty solid so far. Brayley off to Cogger. Kai Pearce-Paul. And Kai Pearce-Paul will be 4th tackle, 4 metres out. Matt Williams is inconsistent. Very inconsistent. You don't know what they're going to call with that because majority of the time they call the opposite of what they just called. And now they'll go left-hand side. Newcastle, Bradman Best. Good defensive tackle by Mweni Hiroti. It'll be 5th tackle for Newcastle at the 8. Greg Marty, Phoenix Crossland, he'll kick that ball. Decent kick into the area. Knights grab it. Oh, he's got to score a try here. It might come from... I don't think the Knights player in front of him is going to be a problem, but there may be an obstruction here. It's going to be a try for Newcastle. I don't think they should have had the ball here. But either way, it's going to be a try underneath the post here. And it's going to be 4-0 with the kick to come. He does catch this. There is a player that's kind of just around that's not playing the ball here, which will be interesting to see what they call here. But it will be 4-0 to the Knights. They've had plenty of attack. This should have been coming. Like, he goes up there, and Frizzell just kind of is standing around there. I wonder what they'll call here, because Frizzell doesn't go up for the ball and then just stops in front of the player, which kind of gives him a bit of a line here. Do you know what I mean? Frizzell's just standing there. I think they'd probably still give this as a try, but Frizzell ultimately doesn't even contest for the ball, so you could argue there's a disruptor here. There's a lot of looking around here from the Sharks, but what's Tyson Frizzell doing? Tyson Frizzell doesn't go up for the ball. So Tyson Frizzell doesn't go up for the ball. He doesn't go up for the ball and then stands in front of where the player who catches it gets it. And then the player who catches it then is ultimately running behind Tyson Frizzell, which prevents the Sharks players here from making a tackle. That would ultimately be an obstruction, no? If he was going up for the ball, maybe it would have been different. Try confirmed. I don't understand. What was Tyson... Tyson Frizzell didn't do... he literally just stood in front of where the player caught the ball and then the player ran behind him to get an easy run to the line. And it's like, if he goes up for the ball, I don't care about it, because if he goes up for the ball, at least he's competing for it. But he didn't. And then just stopped. I was like... So anyway, it's a try for Newcastle. A couple of intriguing decisions here. That's what I'm saying, Sato. So interesting, he kind of jumped for it, then stopped halfway through. So... That's kind of like what we saw yesterday with the disruptor call against the Tigers, where he, I think it was Dream Buller jumps for it, and then takes his hand away from it, which ultimately made it a penalty for a disruptor. And he takes his arm away. They called that as a penalty, but yet in this game where Tyson Frizzell goes up and then he takes his hands away, and then the player gets to benefit from him being in front. It makes no sense how they allow that to be a try when they called that as a penalty yesterday with disruptor against Dream Buller. Anyway, the NRL continues to be inconsistent. Tyson says definitely inconsistent, almost identical to the Tigers incident. That's what I'm saying. But it's not even actually identical. It's actually even more so, because he then impacts the play by being literally in front of where the ball is caught, and then they score from it. And the guy runs behind him to score. So Jaden Brayley gives it off here to Leo Thompson, and they'll be 5th tackle here for the Newcastle Knights at the 43 on 5th tackle. Yeah, true. If Dream didn't take his hand away, would it still have been a pen? No, if he keeps his hand up there and is still going for the ball, that wouldn't have been a penalty against Dream Buller. That wouldn't have been. So anyway, Ronaldo Militado with the ball here 10 metres out. The Sharks have not had the ball so far, by the way. This is like their first set with the ball. The Sharks will get this ball. They've had 5% of possession in the first 7 minutes here. No, if Dream Buller kept his hand out and was still competing for the ball, that wouldn't have been a penalty yesterday. They called it a disruptor because of that. Rocky Sports try time big bum mother bitch. So 3rd tackle now for the Sharks, and they'll get this ball out here to the 25. Sano says that's arguably more of a disruptor. Right, what we just saw, that's a penalty to Cronulla here. Right, what we just saw there is way more of a disruptor than what we saw from Dream Buller. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying? Because I agree with you if that's what you're saying. Because again, Tyson Frizzell's literally impacting the try. after the ball's been caught by the Knights player because he's there. Everyone says, hate the disruptor penalty, to be honest, but that is a pen. Absolutely. Absolutely. And then if it's not a penalty for the disruptor, it's an obstruction because the guy's in front of the player and he uses his own play to get around and through to score a try. Because there's 3 players who are blocked off, or 2 players blocked off from the Sharks to make a tackle on him. Anyway, we've been here for 8 minutes and there's been 2 intriguing calls against the Sharks. All right, so Sharks now will kick this ball to about the 40, no, to the 30. No, you've taken 5 metres off that. Broncos says, shit officiating this weekend. Well, towards the back end for sure. Towards the back end for sure. Adam Fanor Blake will get this ball to the 45, 8 minutes in. It feels like we've been here for half an hour, but we've only been here for 8 minutes. And now the Sharks through Jesse Colquhoun will be at the 50 on second tackle. Second tackle. And now Braden Trindle gives it off to Teague Wilton, and it's going to be third tackle here at the 44. 8 minutes into the first half, Blake Brayley goes right-hand side to Toby Rudolph, and Rudolph now will get his ball inside the attacking 40. Fourth tackle. Blake Brayley off to Nicho Hynes. Hynes at the back here to Will Candy. Candy across here to, I think it's Jesse Colquhoun. I can't really see. Now they'll be at the 30. Blake Brayley to Nicho Hynes. He'll kick this ball up into the air, and that's going to be knocked on from the Sharks. And Knights will get 0 tackle at their own 15. Now to the 20. 0 tackle. Everyone says the most bad calls about the Broncos. Well, there is an argument to make in regards to that because the Broncos do want the Sharks to lose this game. There is an argument to make in regards to that. But don't mind me. Don't mind me. I'll just sip my blueberry smoothie. Second tackle here for the Knights. They'll beat the 45. It has certainly had an effect this round. Well, we haven't spoken about officiating. I think we spoke about the refereeing and officiating last week at all. You know, I'm the type that, like, if there's something significant that's getting involved, then yeah, I'll talk about it. But if there's nothing significant, then you just kind of pass it off. But these last 2 days have there's been a lot of conversation around it. But the NRL doesn't give a shit. Fifth tackle out to 30. 10 minutes gone in the first half, you guys. 30 minutes to go. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Blake Brayley, he will put that ball into the corner where Will Candy will pick it up at the 10 on first tackle. Yeah, it's really frustrating because you just want to sit back and enjoy rugby league. And you could see by the difference in the way that we were commentating that Broncos-Cowboys. Like, we were so excited in that Broncos-Cowboys game, and then it just killed it. It just killed the entire atmosphere. Jack O'Neill says, not the Broncos getting an advantage even in games they aren't playing in. That's what we're saying, Jack. That's what we're saying right now. Third tackle here at the 20. Mitchell says, Kai Pearce-Paul for a 5-fer. Well, he's off to the Tigers in after next game. Everyone says, and Warriors 1 shouldn't have been knock on, which I got Bronx in the 8. Warriors 1 should have been knock. Oh, no. Well, that's that one. That one, there was controversy around it, but the player did admit to it. But in hindsight, they didn't have the angles, but the player did admit to it. So ultimately, the call was correct. 33 metres out here from the Knights line, the Knights will go to Bulls. So it's a difficult one because like I didn't see the angles. Hindsight speaking, he said he touched it, but in the angles that we were given at the time, it's like, well, we didn't see him touch it conclusively, but some people say he did. Anyway, point of the matter is we can add that to the confusion of the round, but specifically the Broncos-Cowboys game and this game so far have had probably the most howlers. Killzeri says, I missed the Knights try. Was it bullshit? Yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, it definitely was. Because Tyson Frizzell absolutely was a disruptor on their black and white ruling of the word disruptor, and then was also part of potentially an obstruction. Matt Williams, I answered you this yesterday. Again, you're not understanding what we're saying. You're not comprehending it, Matt. You need to listen to what we're saying here, man. We're not saying that the call was incorrect based off of hindsight. We're saying based off of the bunker's visuals that there was no conclusive evidence. It doesn't matter if he said that he grabbed it, fondled it, and played with it for 10 minutes before the ball hit the ground. That's what happened afterwards. We're talking about what the angles and the vision the bunker has. It doesn't matter in regards to what you keep replying here. The point that we're making is based off of the angles. Are you understanding what we're saying here, man? You keep replying the same thing, and I keep saying to you the same thing. It's not about the fact that he said he touched it. We acknowledge that, but that's in hindsight without the angles. Do you understand what we're saying here? I think you're not understanding what we're trying to say. So the Knights here at the 30, they're going to kick this ball to about the 10, and Mortalo bobbles it, but he catches at the 10. Tyler says, Bronx is too good. We got bored from usual NRL rules to start to play NFL innovation. Yeah, we've done that for a couple of years now. We saw Reece Walsh against the Warriors in 2023. Second tackle went out to 15. And they go right-hand side now to the 20. It'll be third tackle. Someone says, Broncos are like United, both coming away from scrappy wins against shit teams. Yeah, valid. Yeah, valid. Fourth tackle now to 25. Fourth tackle. But of course they're going to want a big... Like, regardless, they were going to get a home final at Suncorp anyway, but there's a potential if they make top 4 for them to get 2 home finals at Suncorp, which they'd much prefer rather than just the 1. So the Knights will get this ball here at the 25, and then they get this ball to the 35 on first tackle. This isn't exactly looking fantastic here from Cronulla at the moment. And, oh, that's going to be obstruction. Oh, well done. They called an obstruction here. Well done, Sutton. You called an obstruction. Oh, my God, Matt Williams. Oh, my God. Okay, mate. Okay. You're still not getting what we're talking about. Lad. I can't make it any more simpler for you to understand what I'm saying. Anyway, so it's going to be a penalty here for the Sharks. I can't make it any more simpler for you to... Anyway, so Sharks penalty at the 45, and they run this ball. He's just tying him out. He's just not getting what we're saying. Okay, so first tackle here with the Sharks, and the Sharks will get this ball to the 24. Oh, dearie me. Dearie me. Second tackle for Cronulla. Blake Brayley up to Adam Fennell-Blake, and Adam Fennell-Blake is going to get this ball to the 15. Back to Burnley as well. Almost happened. Yeah, it was a close game. Blake Brayley, he'll go out the back into Nico Hines. Hines here, short ball into the line. And I think that's Burns. Billy Burns taken down to the 10. Fourth tackle. Go across to Nico Hines. Hines at the back here to Braden Trindle. Trindle at the back to Will Kennedy. Kennedy, Kale Iro gets it across here to Katoa. Then to Kennedy. And good defense there from the Knights. It'll be fifth tackle, 13 metres out. Blake Brayley will go across here to Braden Trindle, and Trindle's going to put this ball up into the corner. Mulatalo coming through, knocked back here from the Sharks. Sharks get it. Blake Brayley, 6 again here for Cronulla. 6 again, and Toby Rudolph will get, I don't know where that ball was touched by the Knights to make it a 6 again, but it is a 6 again, 3 metres out, zero tackle. So it must have been knocked off by Dom Young then. Well, it's an interesting bounce, interesting ball movement for a knock-on from Dom Young. But anyway, first tackle here for the Sharks. They're 5 metres out. And Brayley off to Nico Hines. 6 again here for Cronulla. Braden Trindle, Will Kennedy. Will Kennedy steps. Will Kennedy steps again. He'll be 4 metres out from the line. First tackle. First tackle, Blake Brayley. He'll get it across to Nico Hines. Then he'll go straight the middle to Adam Fennell-Blake, who's going to be 3 metres away from the line. Second tackle. First attack of the game here for the Sharks. Blake Brayley fakes it left, goes right. Braden Trindle kicks it through. And the Knights will get the ball here to 3. Dumb from Braden Trindle, man. Real dumb play there on second tackle. Like, it's good defense from Newcastle, but it's just silly stuff from a team that's trying to be in the top 4. Like, you can't be doing this in the top 4, man. Like, you can't be playing the Newcastle Knights and you're making them look like world beaters. This is Cronulla for you. Leon says, if Sharks lose twice and Penrith lose next week, Roosters can get a home final if they win. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. And fourth tackle, the Knights will kick this ball towards the 20. That's a 40-20 attempt. And that will be a 40-20. Sharks, you're claiming to be a top 4 team. You're off your rocker. You're off your rocker right now. Because that's a 40-20. And that's actually basically a 30-20. These Sharks are all over the shop. You are playing Newcastle right now. You are looking like Newcastle while the Knights are looking like where you should be in sixth position. Any hope, Sundo? Well, if the Sharks go and lose this game from here, which they're not looking great, but still very early in the game, I do think they beat the Dogs because the Dogs rest their players and the Sharks don't. But like Panthers probably rest their players. Like there's actually a shout to it. There's a world. Knights going to be 2 metres out from the line here. Third tackle. Brenton, I want to ask you, do you believe that was a try? Because we definitely don't. Greg Martiu will score the try. I'm pretty certain he puts that ball down. It's 10-0 with a kick to come. I'm asking you, what were your thoughts on that first try, Brenton? Definitely for me should have been a no try, but this one is a try. Greg Martiu puts his ball down in the corner and it's 10-0. Someone says they wrote stuff to make the finals. There's always hope. There is always hope. There is always hope. And, yeah, Greg Martiu will put that ball down there. And that's a really good put down with one hand there from the corner as well. So 10-0 Knights with a kick to come. I'm pretty certain he gets it down. Yeah, I'm pretty certain he does. But good work here from the Knights so far. I hope that he gets this ball down. I'm pretty certain he does. I'm pretty certain he does. I'm pretty certain he does. I'm pretty certain he gets that ball down. Thomas is kind of questioning it, but I'm pretty certain it's a try. He definitely made it incredibly difficult there. He made it look incredibly difficult, but I'm pretty certain he gets that ball down. Yeah, I'm very well aware of the table, Leon. Very well aware of the table. So 22 minutes to go here of the first half, and it is 10-0 here to the Knights. 10-0. And that comes off the back of a 40-20. Comes off the back of a beautiful 40-20 there for the Knights. Mate, this is a beautiful day here in Cronulla. They are just looking atrocious right now. The Sharks have just been doing absolutely nothing with it. 18 minutes in, and Cogger will miss the kick, so it will stay 10-0. It will stay 10-0, 18 minutes into the game here. 18 minutes into the game. Yeah, that kick was fantastic from Jack Cogger. That's a 30-20. It's a 30-15, really. Like, that's a huge kick there, under a lot of pressure. All right, well, 18 minutes gone. Feels like we've been here for 60 minutes. But the Knights do lead, and the Sharks are looking absolutely atrocious right now. Tom says, seeing Storm on fraud alert, but not Sharks or Bronx is weird. I get why, though, of recent results. Well, you could have argued it yesterday for the Bronx, but you can't put them in after a win. You can't put them on fraud alert with a win. Whilst the Sharks, well, they're aiming towards the fraud alert right now. All right, so the Sharks will kick this ball up to the Knights at the 5, where Crossland gives it to Leo Thompson with a really solid connection there to the 20, and it'll be first tackle 18 minutes in. Jeez, that was a really strong run there from Leo Thompson. Bulldogs fans get excited about that. Dom Young will be the 23. Yeah, Ibrahim Tanner would have made that. He definitely would have. He doesn't miss that bloke. Tanner would have made that. Third tackle now for the Knights at the 33. And now Newcastle to the 45. They're all over Cronulla right now. The Sharks look horrific. They do not look like they've turned up for this game at all. They're the home team. They're fighting for a top 4 spot. The Knights are in 16th position. And the Sharks just don't look like they've turned up at all here today. Dolphins don't... Oh, I didn't mean to have that. I meant to have Manly on eliminated, actually. I've got to change that around. We're going to change that bad boy around. Give me 1 second here. Because I updated the table, and that's why it's got this. And then we put them there. There we go. So thank you for reminding me, Sundo, even though that's not what you wanted. Mate. But thank you for reminding me. And there we go. 4 tackle here for the Sharks at the 35. 20 minutes gone here, guys. 20 minutes to go. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. I don't know where this defense of the Knights was just then, but at least they got across to cover it. But there was a big hole on the right-hand side. I just don't know why Mwani Hiroti keeps getting cracks, man. I'm just not a fan, eh? I think he gets absolutely... Oh, there's a knock on there from the Knights. The Sharks with the ball here at the 30. I'm just not a fan of Mwani Hiroti. He's so... He's just so debatable out there in the centres, man. Defensively, attacking-wise, I just don't believe in it. Oh, yeah, it's a bad knock on there from the Knights. Titans to win next anyway, of course, Sunday. They never lost a game in their history. Are we playing for Adam O'Brien's career right now? A bit late, Newey. Yeah, well, they've already got rid of Adam O'Brien. It's not playing for nothing. They're playing to avoid the spoon. They're playing for whoever their new coach is going to be. Whether that be apparently potentially Blake Green, which I will disagree with, but, we'll see. Sharks now at the 20. Nothing's been obviously confirmed yet. Sione Katoa to Blake Brayley, then to Toby Rudolph, and Toby Rudolph is going to be 10 metres away from the line. Second tackle. And Sharks short to Jesse Colhoun. He's 3 metres out from the line. 3 metres out. Blake Brayley. He goes to Braden Trindle. Trindle runs it in himself here. And he'll be 3 metres out. 4 tackle. 3 metres away. They give it to Toby Rudolph, who's just going to run this ball into the line. The Sharks look so bland, dude. They look so bland. Blake Brayley, Nico Hines. That's a great pass, but Mulatalo has to flick that ball back to Will Candy. It's fit tackle. He throws the ball backwards. Now they're back at the 20. It's going to come across here to Adam Fanor-Blake. He'll get that ball all the way across to the other side of Moreni Hiroti. It's fit tackle, dude. I got to be honest with you. How is Moreni Hiroti in this team? Like, bro, you know it's fit tackle. You know it's fit tackle. You've just seen your players passing the ball around like hot potatoes on the left-hand side. Why the fuck are you running the ball back into the line, Moreni Hiroti? He got pieced apart by Daniel Tupou. He got pieced apart by many players on defense this season. He doesn't even understand fit tackle and just runs the ball into the line there. Like, it's absurd. I don't know how this guy continues to get cracks here for Cronulla. Second tackle here at the 25. I don't get it. The Knights will get this ball to the 30 on third tackle. There are some Tigers fit tackle plays. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and good stuff here for the Knights. Fourth tackle at the 40. Great stuff for them. But, like, the Sharks, it just doesn't make sense. And it's 6 again here for the Knights. Honestly, Sharks should get beaten 13 plus here at this point. They could get done over 13 plus with the way they're playing. They could get done over 13 plus. Then again, we were talking about this with the Cowboys-Broncos game yesterday, and the Cowboys absolutely bounced back. But at least the Cowboys have excitement about them when they attack. The Sharks are just so bland. Kilziri says, pick it up, Sharks. Damn good on the Knights, I guess. Well, like, the Sharks are allowing them to have it all their way. They're allowing a second last place team to have it all their way at the moment. Dane Gagai's just going to run this into the line. They're so slow to get back on defense. Gagai then gets it across here to Crossland, and they got left-hand side. Leo Thompson, he's going to be 8 metres away from the line for tackle. Sees the Sharks going straight out like every other year. It's looking likely, mate. It's looking likely. Kai Pearce, Jermaine McEwen, sorry. He'll be 2 metres away from the line. Fit tackle. Fit tackle. Bradman Best, he'll go to Jack Cogger. Cogger kicks his ball across, and Sharks get an easy grab there through Teague Wilton. He'll get this ball to the 10. Logan says, I reckon Galvin should have developed into a future lock when his body bulks up. True. And Sharks here, they've got a bit of space. Mulatalo, he'll get this ball to the 30. At least that's the first good run we've seen from the Sharks team today. And now Sione Katoa, they're getting some good meters here. They get the ball to the 40 and then get the offload away to Will Candy. And Candy runs it to the 50, so it'll be third tackle and they're about 50 metres out. Blake Brayley, he goes right up the guts here. He gets the offload away to Nico Hines. And Nico Hines, he's at the 40. This is a really good set here from Cronulla. And Braden Trent will be taken down to the 30. That's fourth tackle. This is the only good set they've had so far, but they're on the roll. Adam Fanor-Blake now 25 metres out. And Jesse Calhoun will absolutely kill all momentum and just take the ball at the 20. Out to the right-hand side, Nico Hines. Short ball, into the line. Sharks here, get the ball offloaded. Knights knock the ball backwards, and that's going to be... No, it's not. It's going to be knock on Newcastle. So Sharks will get the ball here 10 metres away. Sharks will get the ball. I don't know where the knock on was. I thought Bradman Best knocked that ball back, but anyway. Sharks ball. Leon, this makes me think no one deserves to be fourth. Should be a top 3 this year. True. But right now, at least the Broncos showed a lot more than what the Sharks are showing. Last night, despite the controversy, Broncos showed a lot more than what the Sharks are showing right now. Still a long way to go in this game. Still 55 minutes to go in the game, but the disappointment of this first 25 minutes has been extraordinary from the Sharks. Extraordinary. On my side, now Nico Hines, he'll run this ball to the 4 on first tackle. 4 metres out. Blake Brayley, he'll go out the back now to Jesse Calhoun. Off the Thomas Hazelton. And Hazelton, he's going to grip this ball 4 metres away from the line. Second tackle. Second tackle. Blake Brayley, he will get it to Nico Hines. Good manipulation of the defence there from Brayley, but Hines kills all momentum. 5 metres away from the line. Now Blake Brayley, he'll go to Hazelton. Hazelton into the line. One-dimensional. 4th tackle here at the 3. 4th tackle. Blake Brayley to Adam Fanor-Blake. Crash play. And he will score the try. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. It might be a knock on here. It might be a knock on here. Sutton's immediately reacted to this. I think he's saying this is a knock on here from Adam Fanor-Blake. I think he's saying this is a knock on here from Adam Fanor-Blake over the line. He's got the ball. He's got the ball there. There's nothing wrong with this. This first one here is fine. He does have the ball. That's fine. He still goes left. Yeah, secures it. Yeah, so that's fine. It comes down to this one here, though. It comes down to this one here, but Sutton was pretty convinced straight away. No, this is a try. No, they will call it as a try. So it's going to be 10-4 here. Sharks will get the kick from in front as well, so it's about to be 10-6 any moment now. But the Sharks will score a try. It did bobble, but he does regather it before it hits a Knights player, and then he will put the ball over the line. So good try there from Adam Fanor-Blake, but geez, the Sharks have been underwhelming. Dodgy passes just tuned in how the Knights leading because the Sharks are doing Sharks things, but at least they will score and get themselves back into the game. Charles says Knights had 10 times odds on Sportsbet. Look, I don't think the Knights win this game. Like, I want to put this out there. I still think the Sharks win this game and win this game relatively well. But it's like, that's in hindsight as well. Like, right this very second, based off of their first 26 minutes, the criticism has been absolutely valid. They've been planned, they've been one-dimensional. Maybe this opens the floodgates and gets them a bit of confidence, but you know, overall, it's been a really disappointing start here for the Cronulla Sharks. And the Knights are a team that do make a lot of errors. They do go under a lot of pressure. They've had to change up a lot of the team again today. The Sharks have no excuses, especially being at home, playing for a top 4 spot. Yes, the Knights are trying to avoid the spoon, but at the end of the day, the Sharks shouldn't really give a shit about that. They should be a much better team here. But for the first 26 minutes, they've been really, really disappointing. And we need to see a lot more from them because right now, it's not really even honestly, whether they come 4th or they come 6th or they come 5th, it doesn't matter. It's not about, we're not actually even looking for ladder position realistically right now as a neutral anyway. I'm looking to see how this team is going to go in the finals. Whether they play the Raiders in the first week, they're probably going to have to play a team like the Panthers or the Roosters or the Warriors or the Broncos in the second week, right? So, because they're going to lose to the Raiders based off what we're seeing. And then they're probably going to lose to whoever they play in the second week too based off what we're seeing. So I don't care whether they come 4th or they come 6th because at the moment, it doesn't really matter who they're going to play. It's looking likely if they play like this, they are going to get knocked out straight away. There's no direction to a grand final in games like this, and in games where they still gave up 22 points to the Titans a couple of weeks ago. You know, like this team just really lacks solid foundations to push forward and say that we're going to be a grand final winning team. That's what I look for. Whether they come 4th, 5th, or 6th, doesn't matter. Second tackle here for the Sharks, they'll get this ball to the 20. It's just if they come 4th, at least they get a double chance, but they're more than likely going to lose 2 games in the finals then, rather than just the 1 game. So the Sharks here, great run there from Jesse Colquhoun. He'll be third tackle at the 30. Great run. Obviously, Sharks fans are looking to get as deep into the finals as they can, and a top 4 spot would do that, but I've got to be honest with you and say this is not good. Adam Fanor-Blake here at the 38. Blake Brayley, Thomas Hazelton. Here goes a short ball into the line for Teague Wilton. Teague Wilton's been good today. I will say if there's been a player that's impressed me today, it's been Teague Wilton. Colquhoun off to Braden Trindle. On the last, kicks this one through. Good pressure here from the Cronulla Sharks! I think this is a knock-on from the Sharks. The referee's actually playing this on here. He's going to check it, but I'm pretty certain there's a knock-on Sharks. Pretty certain we're going to knock on from the Sharks here. Otherwise, I don't think he puts the ball down over the line anyway, so I think it'll be Sharks 6 again at the 10. Unless the Knights player knocks it into the Sharks play first. Oh, he probably does. This actually might be a knock-on Knights at the 10. I think Hunt might touch this ball first. Yeah. I think Hunt knocks that ball on. Oh! What? Yeah, commentary say, Bunker, you're off your rocker, dude. Get the calls right, please. Everyone can see Fletcher Hunt touches that. The commentary just said, really? Come on, Bunker. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. Anyway, it's Knights ball at the 15. Like, you can't get over it. You can't get over it. Knights now at the 20. How can you tell us that Fletcher Hunt, the ball goes backwards when he gets a touch probably first? I will say it's probably first. But either way, how does he touch it backwards when he's touching the ball like this and his hand is facing that way towards the opposite try line? So how does it go backwards when it's like that? Yeah, and Paul says, just tuned in yet another botched bunker review. Mate, we saw a try for the Knights, which was a botched bunker review today already. So fit tackle here. Good tackle. The Knights have been getting quite a few beneficial calls, but the Sharks have also been shithouse. But the Knights are getting quite a few beneficial calls in this game. All right, so Will Candy here. He's going to get some space. He's going to go to the left-hand side. Now he'll bring this ball to the 25 on first tackle. No, like, have they hired visually impaired individuals? I genuinely think so at this point, mate. I do. Second tackle, they'll be at the 35 for the Sharks. Kay says, after last night, should the bunker be able to rule on 4 passes? Mate, it's not based on last night. It's based on the last couple of years. But only obvious forward passes too, like 50-50 ones, maybe not. But last night's one was obvious, and there's been many obvious forward passes that they can't call on. But it's good. It's not just last night. This has been a conversation for many years. 45 metres out, Hazelton to Blake Brayley, fourth tackle, Adam Fanor-Blake. He'll go at the back here to Nico Hines, and then the Sharks will be 38 metres out. Good defence from Cogger. 10 minutes to go here, the first half, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Some really controversial calls against the Sharks today, but also they've not been good enough. And Dom Young will grab that ball here at the 15. Nick Elsa, seems like I'm hearing about the old bunker again today. Yeah, no, there's been definitely a couple of wonky calls. Commentary's currently talking about Teague Wilton apparently get taken off the ball right now too. I didn't even see that, which would be another questionable decision. Third tackle now at the 25. Leon says, the thing is, it doesn't matter if they win by 80. This is concerning going to the finals, and a better team will punish them. Correct. I don't. 5th, 6th, 7th, doesn't matter. Has he lost that ball? No, he's got that ball nice. Fourth tackle here at the 35. Again, I still feel like the Sharks will find a way to probably lead this at half time, but I don't know if that's deserving. I don't think that's deserving. So the Knights at the 40, and Crossland will kick this ball down to the 20, and they're going to bring this ball back out to the 25, to the 30 through Will Kennedy. Now we're at the 32. First tackle here. Don't forget, we'll be live at Dolphins Titans right after this. The weekly dose of depression will be right on back. Mawene Hiroti gets this ball to the 40. On second tackle. Yeah, the Sharks are at least getting a little bit more into this game compared to the previous, compared to their first 25 minutes in the game. Their last 6 minutes has been a lot better. Oh my gosh, the Sharks nearly knocked that ball on, but they're lucky Mulatalo was able to grab that ball in. Third tackle now, and the Sharks through Braden Hamlin-Welly. He'll be 28 metres away. Tylan says, we have to consider the impact of the Broncos highlights reels, though, if the bunker could rule on 4 passes. That's a great point. Sifa Talakai, he's going to be 15 metres out. Wow, commentary just roasted him. They said the short man with the short pass to Talakai. Nico Hines had to Braden Trindle. Trindle gets it across here to Mulatalo, and that's going to be a try time. And like I said, the Sharks probably still lead this half time, but I don't know if they deserve it. Mulatalo, get a grip yourself. You tell people you can't hear you. Come on, man. Like, you guys have been awful, but at least it's 10-10 here with the kid to come. At least it's 10-10 here with the kid to come. This is the thing. The Sharks could still win this game by 40, guys. I'm not putting this out of the equation. They could still do that because they're coming up against a team they should do that against. It's a great pass from Braden Trindle. But the first 25 minutes do need to still be criticised because against a better team, they wouldn't be in this position. Against a better team in that first 25 minutes, they probably would have had 24 put past them. The Sharks wouldn't have gotten the attacking opportunities, and a team like the Bulldogs, a team like the Raiders, a team like the Storm and whatnot would have put a score past them in that first 25. Now, I do think that the Sharks have come into this game with an expectation that they're going to win this game. I do think that the players... Yeah, he does put that ball down. They have clearly come in with like a resting kind of attitude mentality where it's like they've already got the game won when they haven't. Fans can have that, players can't have that. And they've been hopefully woken up from that first 25 minutes. But the first 25 minutes was awful. Brenton says, pull your head in, Fortnite boy. Well, he scores a try. Dom Young was kind of ball watching there. Yeah, Dom Young was inside. I'm pretty certain try's been confirmed here. He does get the try. It's a similar put down to the first Sharks try. Mulatalo, fourth in most tries at Shaggy Park. I think Andrew Eddinghausen still had the first. He was pretty quick in regards to the stats on the screen. Nico Hines, he's 78% for season goals, 78 from 100. This is a difficult kick here from the left-hand sideline, though. Doesn't look like there's much wind around, though, which is good. And Nico Hines will... Oh, it's a beautiful kick. It's a beautiful kick there from Nico Hines, and it makes it 12-10 to the Sharks with 7.5 minutes to go the first half. It's a beautiful kick. Beautiful. Mate, it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. 12-10. On the hard stuff today, the blueberry shake. Mate, I had a coconut coffee before. Now got the old blueberry shake. Mate, I tell ya, they make them good here in Vietnam. They make them good in the old Vietnam. Tell you what. But I do hear really good things about Malaysian food. I hear really good things about food in Malaysia, so I'm looking forward to that. Mate, Jay, I tell you what, you've never been more right in your life. I'm absolutely flying. Oh, Knights have given away a penalty off the kickoff. Welcome back, Newcastle. Welcome back, Newcastle. Unbelievable. They have such a positive start for the first 20-25 minutes, and now they've just let the Sharks roll back into the game here. Ooh. Oh, the far side was offside, not the near side, the far side. Greg Martier was the one offside. That's a very lazy penalty, considering they weren't even kicking it to his side. They weren't even kicking it to his side. All right, Sharks now. Braden Hamilton-Uele. We'll get this ball to the 28. Penalties 3 to the Sharks, 0 to the Knights. But, Jay, you've never been more right in your life. You're spot on, mate. Absolutely flying, mate. Flying. It's disgraceful how much I'm flying right now. Second tackle for Cronulla at the 18. All right, they've got the momentum now. Oh, that's a 6 again for sure. That's got to be 6 again for sure. And guess what? It's a 6 again. Thomas Hayleton now. He's 8 metres out from the line. How's the weather in Chiang Mai today, Sean? How's the weather up there? Nico Hines. Beautiful day here. And Hamilton-Uele is going to be 3 metres out. Second tackle. Oh, can you believe it? The Sharks are probably going to lead at halftime 18-10. Can you believe it? Like, considering what we've watched. Blake Brayley up to Braden Trindle. Trindle short into the line here for KL Ero, and I'm pretty certain he scored. That is a try for the Sharks. He kept his arm up, and it's going to be 16. Oh, maybe not. They're going to say this is a double movement. I thought he rolled here. It'll be interesting. Well, it has. Oh, beautiful day here. He's still rolling here, though. That's one motion. It's one motion. Oh, yeah, but he's still got a hold of him, mate. The ball carrying arm does make contact here, but he is... First glance is no try. They just want to see the put down. I think the double movement's fine. I think it's about the put down here. I think that's a try. Like, because he was kind of rolling when Crossan was on him. So it's about the put down here. I think that's a try. This is actually difficult. I'm pretty certain it's going to be a try. He's still got the ball in his right hand there. Yeah. Oh. So it's a knock-on rather than a double movement here. The Knights will get the ball at the 10. It's like his hand's still on it, though. It's a classic, yeah, Paul. Yeah, no, exactly right. So, yeah, yeah. But a bit of yeah as well, and a yeah, nah. But I was thinking maybe as well. But the Knights will get the ball here at the 10. I think if they called that as a try, they'd probably leave it as a try. I think they probably do. Lagos, being offside of a kickoff in the NRL in 2025 is pathetic. It's pathetic in 1992. It's pathetic in 1908. You shouldn't be offside from a kickoff. You just shouldn't be. No matter what year it is. How's the weather in China, Jay? In Shanghai? Nick Hill says, bunker strikes again. How can you knock on into your own arm? Exactly. Like, I disagree with it. He's saying that he lost possession as it rolled from his left arm into his right hand. Well, unless that touches the grass, then it's not knock on. And also, he still had his right hand on it the whole time. And then I thought there was more of a debate about whether it got to the line or not, because it was a bit 50-50 whether it got to the line. Fourth tackle here for the Knights there at the 33. And they go left-hand side. Crossland off to... I think that's... Oh, jeez, what's his name? It's a long name. Salesa Leon Moana, that's it. I was about to say Leon Moana Salesa. So William Candy at the 20. He's going to bring this ball out here to the 30. It's a good run here from Will Candy to the 35 on first tackle. They must have those blueberry shakes in the bunker. They fly on as well. Yeah, but the bunker don't have a clue what they're talking about any time. So they wouldn't have the blueberry shakes because that's only for people who have a clue what they're talking about. Not that I have a clue what I'm talking about, but we do our best to have a clue. You know, we try to have a clue. We try our very best to have some form of a clue about something at some point in history. Forward tackle here for the Cronulla Sharks at the 35. It's good post contact there from Braden Hamilton-Uele. 4.5 minutes to go here of the first half. Jay says, BRB, watch out dogs in the area. Watch out dogs. Get your dogs on a leash. KL Ero, they're going to be 13 metres away from the line. Fifth tackle. Blake Brayley off to Braden Trindle. Trindle's going to put this one up here. Caught by the Sharks. They throw it at the back. And knock on from the Sharks in the end. And the Knights will get the ball at the 5. It's going to be a handover at the 10. Yeah. Your dogs are out, Daz, mate. Mate, get him in. Get him in. You got to be careful of Jay when he's on the prowl. When he's on the prowl. So it'll be Knights ball here at the 10. Now first tackle, 13 metres out. No, he gets the offload away. Very risky offload when you're in that situation on first tackle. 10 metres out, but sure. All right, Knights at the 18. Geez, you know how that possession was 5% to the Sharks in the first 8 minutes? Well, it's now 51% to the Sharks, so they've definitely dominated the possession since that first 10 minutes. First 10, it was just all Knights. Wales. So Blake Brayley off to... Oh, nearly an intercept, but the Knights are away here. Brabham Best. Nico Hines gets a ball to knock on from Newcastle. And the Sharks picked the ball up. Oh, no. That was really good and was looking like a Sharks try was coming up. Oh, gee whiz. That was a big old hit there. Jack Cogger got smashed by Will Kennedy. I think he lost the ball previously. But let's have a look at the contact if it comes up around the head. So he gets... Oh, no, it's perfect. It's a great shot. It's a great shot from William Kennedy. There's nothing wrong with it. And Cogger just gets put under a bit of pressure there from Brabham Best's pass. And the Sharks will get the ball back here. Yeah, there's no way you could penalise that from Will Kennedy. There's no way. That was a perfect shot there around the ribs. But he's coming down to get the ball there. And No, referee. No, that's not a penalty. No, I'm sorry, but that's just a bad call. How is that a penalty? He's lost the ball beforehand, and the only reason that anything's happening is because Jack Cogger is down at a moment Kennedy would have hit him in the ribs. How is that a penalty? How on earth is that a penalty? That is outrageous. So the Knights will get the ball at the 30. That is outrageous, dude. Entertainers says they can't do this refereeing before finals. Dude, the Knights have had so many beneficial calls today. It's been actually ludicrous. The first try was dodgy. There was another moment that we criticised before. That's ridiculous that they've called that as a high tackle penalty. Like, it's just been... What's happening? Like, the bunker to say that the Sharks knocked that ball on for their try from a left arm into his right hand, it's like, well, you're not saying that it touched the grass. Well, Sharks get the ball even by knock on. Ball don't lie. So the Sharks get the ball here at the 30 on zero tackle, now 35 at the zero tackle. And, oh, dude, Hayden, I blew up about yesterday's game. I blew up at that Broncos-Cowboys game. It was entertaining, but it was ruined. It was 60 minutes of brilliance, like really fun. Bad defense, but really fun. The last 20 minutes was just absolutely crucified, though. You know, the way that was officiated. And this game here today has been really poorly officiated too. It's really frustrating. But at least we got a close game here. Hazelton now at the 35. And ball don't lie. They knocked the ball on straight away, the Knights. 2 minutes and 8 seconds to go. Blake Brayley, he'll go himself and he'll get this ball to the 25 on 4 tackle. Like, technically, that's a high tackle there because he's gone down into the tackle and he's being connected around here, no? Like, technically, based off of their ruling, that's what it should be. Fifth tackle here at the 15. It's just ridiculous. It really is just ridiculous. Blake Brayley to Talakai. Talakai to Trindle. Trindle kicks his ball into the corner and Dom Young will have to knock it out for a dropout. So the Sharks will receive a dropout here. Yeah, it's been a rough old weekend for the old officiating. Been a rough old weekend. So a minute and a half to go here of the first half. It is 12-10 to the Sharks, and they will receive the dropout. And that's not going to go short. They're going to go for about 35 metres. Bit of a weird one there. Not a long one, but not a short one. And now Tommy Hazelton. He'll be 25 metres away from the line. First tackle. Blake Brayley. He'll go right-hand side off to Braden Hamlin-Uwelli. And he'll bring this ball to about 13 metres out. Second tackle. Can the Sharkies make it an 18-10 lead at half time? Makes more sense now, but the first 25 minutes, you never would have thought that was going to be happening. Third tackle, 7 metres away. Blake Brayley, he's got Hazelton. He gives it off instead to Hamlin-Uwelli, who's going to be... That's 6 again for sure. Yeah, it is. Not that it really matters, considering there's not much to go. Sione Katoa now on first tackle. He's at the 10. Just go down, bro. You're wasting time. Sione Katoa. That was pathetic. First tackle now, 15 metres away. Blake Bradley, 24 seconds to go here until half-time. Thomas Hazelton, he will be about 7 metres out of the line. Second tackle, 17 seconds to go here, Sharks. You're going to be quick with it. Nico Hines. Hines, short ball into the line. Here's Talakai. He will score a try, and it'll be 16-10 with a kick to come. That was too easy there for the Sharks. It was too easy, and especially with 8 seconds to go in the first half, they get in just in time, and it was too easy for Talakai up the centre. So they're about to be leading 18-10 because this will be from basically right in front of the post. But Antanas, if you're still here, mate, you would have enjoyed Friday. It was a nice little win for you. Controversial, but like at the end of the day, like a nice little win for you. Yeah, Talakai too easy through the middle there, and Crossan just couldn't make the tackle on. Well, this is a score that makes a little bit more sense. Makes a little bit more sense. Little bit more sense here. Helikimi says, Sharks, one more try before half-time. Brother, I'm supporting the Sharks all the way from Goroga in Papua New Guinea. Get around here, Helikimi. Lagan says, Carter Gordon still named in top 2 reserves. Surely we get to see his debut. Maybe. We might see him in debut against the Tigers. But also, you got to remember that the Titans are just trying to avoid that spoon, so I don't know if they want to change too much right now. And they are, it's like these last 2 games are a bit of a goodbye, right, to a lot of this era of Titans. Bad era, but still era. Yeah, Brian Kelly's probably not going to be re-signed. He's already been told he can leave. Des Hasler's gone. Kieran Foran's retiring after these 2 games. Philip Sami is probably on his way out. You know, there's a lot of players here. Regan Campbell's been shown the door. There's a lot of players here that we don't know their future. They're going. So, and players and coaches and whatnot. So there's a lot going on. And I think that it's a little bit of a swan song. So if we get the spoon, we deserve it. If we don't get the spoon, the Knights deserve the spoon. Like, whoever gets the spoon deserves it, mate. And that's why I don't really care too much in regards to, if we do come last, fair enough. You know, fair enough. I'm not going to argue it. I'm not going to say the Knights deserved it more. I think if the Knights got it, then yes, they deserved it more. If the Titans get it, they deserved it more. Even though the Titans did beat the Knights twice this season, point of the matter is we've both been just so awful. I would love to see us get one more win, though, just for Kieran Foran's sake. Even if the Knights won and we still got the spoon, I'd just like to see one more win for our own benefit. Not for anyone else, not to avoid the spoon, just for our own individual benefit, to say goodbye to guys like Kieran Foran, Desi Hasler, Brian Kelly, maybe not so much Regan Campbell-Gillard, but he still has Don Dad jersey, you know, a couple of those guys. So we'll see, mate, we'll see. It'd be really nice to at least eliminate someone too in the Dolphins today as well. But half-time here, guys, 18-10 to the old Sharkies. Has been a very dodgy first half from them, but they still came through trumps in the end. They still came through, absolute trump. In the end. So, look, you got to be very concerned about them going into the finals. You definitely do. If you look at this score right now coming in at halftime, you probably wouldn't understand that they did it the hard way. They were down 10-0. Yeah, probably not a try for the first try of the Knights, but at the end of the day, they were down 10-0, and they just weren't good enough. Then they fought their way back into the game. The try scorers, Adam Fanor-Blake, Ronaldo Molitalo, and Siasifa Talakai right on halftime, whilst for the Knights, it's Fletcher Hunt and Greg Marzi. So we need to see a lot more convincing play out of the Sharks in the second half. They need to just go on with this and win this game quite well. Hopefully, they've just... The first 60 minutes against the Titans was fantastic, and the last 20 minutes was really disappointing. So I'm hoping that this here has been, the first 20 minutes has been really disappointing for the Sharks, and the final 60 minutes is going to be fantastic. That's what I'm hoping and expecting here, that they're trying to adjust the way they play a full 80, rather than play a 60 and then just kind of fall asleep in the last 20. Instead, fall asleep with the first 20 against a weaker team here, and then pump home for the last 60. This isn't a winning formula, but I think that they're hopefully trying to adjust it, right? Because that first 20 was not acceptable. But anyway, let's go and have a look at the stats here at halftime. So hit that thumbs up button, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'm going to try and refresh this scoreboard because I don't know why it hasn't. Yeah, there we go. It's refreshed there. So that's the halftime score. Now, possession, 53% for the Sharks, 43% there for the Newcastle Knights. Quite funny this, because in the first 7.5 minutes of this game, 8 minutes of this game, the Sharks had 5% possession. The Knights had 95% possession in the first 7.5, 8 minutes of this game. Basically 10. You know, so that was a real key telling point to the Knights getting that first try of the game, despite being controversial. Point of the matter is that the Sharks have really walloped in regards to possession since that moment. Now, time in possession is 14 minutes and 57 seconds there for the Sharks, 13 minutes there for the Newcastle Knights. So that's 24, 25, 26. That's basically 28 minutes worth of time possession, which is actually not too bad. You know, it's definitely getting on the upper end there. You do love to see 30 minutes plus, but ultimately this is kind of around the average to upper average of a time possession, which is not too bad. Now, completion rate, you want to be seeing at least 80%. Now, I will give a positive here. Newcastle Knights are at 76% at 16 from 21. That's not good. It's not at 80%. But it's good for them. And that's a weird thing to say. This is good for them. 76% is probably about 10% more than what they're usually at. They love a good 65 to 68% at halftime. They're at 76%. So whilst it's not good, whilst it's not hitting the marker, it is, funnily enough, an improvement on recent weeks and an improvement on a lot of this season. So the Knights, they're under the 80% marker for completion rate, but I'm okay with it because they are showing an improved trajectory based off of that completion rate. Now the Sharks, they're at 90% at 19 from 21, so they're not making many mistakes at all. That's brilliant, 10% above the 80% marker. These stats right now are showing what it should show. It should show this from a top 5, top 4 team, because right now the Sharks will be in 5th position, a top 5/top 4 team, comparatively to a bottom 2 team. These stats are aligning with that now. First 20 didn't, now it is. Attacking-wise, all runs, 109 for the Sharks, with 846 run meters for Cronulla, with the Knights having 85 runs for 733 run meters. So ultimately, the Newcastle Knights are about 120 meters behind the 10 meters on average per run that you're looking for, whilst the Sharks, they're about 160 odd behind the 10 meters on average per run. So they're very similar in regards to how much they've fallen behind the 10 meters on average per run. Sharks at 846, Knights at 733. But if you do try to make it up with the equation metric of a 10 meters on average per run on a metric, which is not necessarily fair based off the fact they're both not hitting it, it's 24 extra runs here for the Newcastle Knights. That's 240 meters. It's unfair to do this, but 833, 933, 973. So like you go 973 to 846, which would show the Knights are 130 meters in front of them. But again, both teams here aren't hitting that metric. So it's like, if I went and gave them like a 7 meters on average per run, then maybe you actually might. 7 times 24, I'm not going to do that number. But the point of the matter is that, look, the Knights actually probably are doing a little bit more with the run meters when they've got the ball, if you just try and think of what you would assume it'd be based off of a lesser metric, if you understand what I'm saying. This is getting really confusing. Post-contact meters is going to tell you this story right there. Post-contact meters is going to agree with me. 287 here for the Knights, 284 here for the Sharks. That's with 24 less runs. The Newcastle Knights have had 24 less runs than the Sharks. They've got 287 post-contact meters. The Sharks have 284. With 24 less runs, they have 3 extra post-contact meters. That is whopping from the Newcastle Knights. They are destroying the post-contact meters battle. Destroying it. Right, so that will align with the fact that I believe that if an equation of the ball possession comes Knights' way with the amount of runs to 109, 109, I do have the Knights being just in front. Not by a significant amount, but just in front. Line breaks is 3-2 for the Sharks. The tackle breaks is 26-20 to the Sharks. My gosh, Newcastle love a good missed tackle. My goodness me. Average set distance, 25 and under. Turn the stream off, it's pathetic. 25 to 30, it is disgusting. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is in the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic. And 50 plus is basically perfect. The Sharks are at a clean 40.34. So they're making at least 40 meters. They're hitting the threshold of the 40 for the great category. It's extreme low end of the great category, but it's still great category nonetheless. 40.34 is a good amount of meters that you want to be making on each set. Yeah, sure, you want to be seeing it probably more so towards the 43 to 45 marker for a game of this caliber. But at the end of the day, 40.34, you're not complaining about it. The Knights, though, they're not hitting the 35 threshold. They're very close, but they're not hitting the threshold. 34.93, they're 0.07 behind. Hitting the 35 meters on average per run, per set distance, per run would be crazy. Per set distance on average, 34.93 is in the underwhelming category. They're not making a great deal of meters, and it's about 5 and a bit meters behind where the Sharks are. Probably 5.5 because the 0.34, 0.93, it's about 5.5 meters behind how many the Sharks are making. So a extreme low-end category great for the Sharks. An extreme high-end category underwhelming for the Newcastle Knights is telling you a difference there. Average play-the-ball speed is 3.39 seconds and below is fast. 3.4 to 3.59 is average. And then 3.6 to 3.79 is slow. 3.8 and above is extremely slow. Anything under 3.20 is extremely fast. The Knights are at 3.26. That is really fast. I would even argue that anything under 3.30 is really fast. I'd say fast is 3.30 to 3.39. I'd say anything under 3.29 is extremely fast. That is extremely fast here for the Knights at 3.26. That's really good play the ball speed. But the Sharks, they're at 3.73. That's on the slow category, getting up towards the extremely slow category. Game of two different styles here. Sharks are playing the ball slow. The Knights are playing the ball extremely fast. So, interesting that it's 18-10 here to the Sharks, especially with the Knights getting that quick play the ball, but I guess that's where a lot of errors can come from as well. Also, Sharks are playing it at a pretty normal rate. You go to the offloads, 5-4 here for Newcastle. You go down to the 4 dropouts of 1-0 Cronulla. Kick defusal is 100% to the Sharks, 56% here to the Newcastle Knights. The Knights have kicked a 40-20 in this game. Now, defensive effective tackle percentage on an individual level. This is not a collective defensive stat. An individual defensive stat on the tackle percentage. 85% and below is disgusting. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker. And 90% and above is brilliant. 87.32% here for the Sharks. They're not hitting the 88% marker. They are at the upper end of the underwhelming, but it's still underwhelming regardless. That's what you're going to get when you're having 20 missed tackles. 179 tackles made for 20 missed tackles and 6 ineffective. So the average of ineffective tackles is 6-7, so they're bang on the mark there with an average ineffective tackles. But the missed tackles is 15 to 17 on average. They're at 20, so they're 3 above the higher end of the average. The Sharks are missing plenty of tackles here. Whilst the Newcastle Knights, they're even worse. They're at 84.47%, which is in the disgusting category. It's in the mid to upper end of the disgusting category, but 185 tackles for a whopping 26 missed tackles and a whopping 8 ineffective tackles is just bad news for Newcastle Knights fans. That's really bad news. 15 to 17 on average for missed tackles. They're at 26. That's 9 above the average of the highest level of the average at 17. They're at 26. The Knights are missing plenty of tackles, which we are very well accustomed to with them. And then we go to the ineffective, where they are 1 above the higher end of the average of 7 with the ineffective. So 34 bad tackles for the Knights, 26 bad tackles for the Sharks. This game is leaning in towards trajectory, but also the Knights last week, I believe, had like 39 missed tackles at halftime. So that was 13 more missed tackles at halftime, which was just deplorable. But 26 is a improvement, not that it's good. Very similar to what I was saying with the completion rate. Then you go to the negative play. Now, errors 4 and below is really good. 5 to 6 is average, and 7 and above is really bad. The Knights are usually at between 7 to 9, sometimes even 10 at halftime. They're only at 5. That's average. Again, they're showing improved stats here. They're not showing good stats, but they're showing improved stats. 5 is actually a very improved stat here for Newcastle. The Sharks are at 6, which is still in the average category of 5-6, but they've still made more errors than the Newcastle Knights in this game so far, which is crazy to think because the Knights are a very error-ridden team. But then you get to the penalties conceded, which is 3-1 against the Knights. Ruck infringements is 3-2 against the Knights. Inside 10 metres is 1-0 against the Sharks, and on reports is 1-0 against the Sharks. So, look, overall, this is telling you the Sharks should win this game. Defensively, they have been better here. Errors-wise, it's pretty similar, if not against the Sharks. Penalties conceded is definitely against the Knights. They've been more ill-disciplined there. At least the Knights have kicked that 40-20, but overall they've played the ball speeds faster. But the Sharks, they're taking a little bit more time with it. The average set distance is more decently an advantage of the Sharks. The line breaks is an advantage of the Sharks. The post-contact meters is well in advance of Newcastle, and the Newcastle run meters probably does beat out with an extra 24 runs to equal it out. But overall, the completion rate for the Sharks is great. The time possession is great, and I do think the Sharks go on with this from here and still win this game 13+. Because if the Knights were going to do anything, they would have held out from that 10-0 start. But unfortunately, the Sharks were still able to find their way back into leading by a solid 8 points at halftime, despite what we saw. But yeah, there you go, guys. I'm still tipping the Sharks 13+ here. They've been underwhelming for sure, but they were the much better team in the last 15 minutes of that first half. And you could argue they had a try against them that was controversial, and you could definitely argue they had a try for them that was called a no try that was controversial. Jane says, I'm unable to watch the game. I had a bit of frustration when I saw we were somehow down against a poor Knights side, but relieved to see we're in front now, though. How have the Sharks been today? Let me hold your hand when I say this. Let me hold your hand when I say this. First 25 minutes, you were deplorable. You were absolutely deplorable. But I will say I don't think the Knights' first try should have stood. And then the last 15 minutes, you were clearly the better team. And then I think that a no try that was given against you was also quite questionable. So I do think there's been like a 12-point swing there potentially. I do think there's been a 12-point swing there, which should have gone in Sharks' favour. There's been quite a few calls against the Sharks here today, in my opinion. But overall, you were really poor for the first 25. You looked bland. You looked lethargic. You looked like you didn't want it. And then it's like when they scored their first try, it kind of opened the floodgates a little bit. Knights did play well for the first 20, 25 minutes. And when we criticise officials, we're not criticising the team that's getting the beneficial calls. People need to realise this. In regards to the Broncos game last night, there's a lot of Broncos fans online who take it offensively that people criticise the officials' calls. And it's like, well, we're not insulting you. It's not the Broncos' fault that you received a forward pass try from the Gehamuch pass. It's not the Broncos' fault. It's also not the Knights' fault that the bunker called that as a try and didn't even acknowledge the existence of Tyson Frizzell in the line, going up for a disruptor, and then also potentially being an obstructor in the try. It's not the Knights' fault. It is the bunker's fault. It is the officials' fault. It is their fault. It's the bunkers' fault and the officials' fault for their incorrect decisions. It is not us insulting the Knights, and it is not us insulting the Brisbane Broncos. And even if that was a wrong call for the Warriors Eels, not that it was, but even if it was, it's not the Eels' fault. It is the bunkers' fault. But people don't seem to realise this. Dion says, is it 18-10? Oh, well, Dion, it is. It is 18-10. Yes, it is. Dasmate says, wait, we weren't insulting the Broncos? Oh, damn, that's a downer. Well, we can insult the Broncos too if you'd like. If you would like, we can also insult the Broncos. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I am here for it. 18-10 at halftime. 18-10 at halftime here. Gee whiz. Give me 2 seconds here, guys. I'm going to quickly go wash my face and I'll be back just to wake us up for the second half. We've still got the Titans game to come up right after this. So give me 2 seconds. I'll be back in a moment. All right, we're back. That's very quick. Very quick, son. We are back. Beautiful. All right, second half is about to start up here. Second half is about to start up. The Sharks are in the field and the Knights coming out as well. James, has this happened against the Titans too? We let them get an early lead, an early jump on us. I think it was like 6-10 Titans way or something close to that. Yeah, true. But the Sharks fell away in the last 20. Rather, this game, they were just really bad the first 20. Paul says Sharks get done. You'd assume so. Tasman says, I mean, I was insulting the ponies. Yeah, you do that, son. Yeah, you do. You go and do that, my friend. You go and do that. I'm not going to stop you, my friend. I am not going to stop you, my friend. All right, so the Sharks can get the ball here at the 15. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And it's going to be Sharks ball now at the 20. First tackle. Let's see if they can go on with it or if Knights can make this a game. But the Sharks need to win by a convincing amount if they want to have a potential at the points differential battle with the Broncos. If they just win this game, that they just need to beat the Bulldogs next week and the Storm to beat the Broncos. But if they want a chance to see the Broncos beat the Storm and still have a chance to still jump them with 2 wins, then they need to win this game by quite a considerable margin. I'm talking like 50, 60 points. And Will Kennedy now to the 45 on fit tackle on the Knights side of the field. They roll it back to Blake Brayley. Nico Hines, he will kick that ball up into the corner. And the Knights will get this ball here at the 10. And now Knights will be taken down first tackle. There have been comments that Bronx are flogs, cheats, which I completely understand given the context. But like you say, not the players' faults. The refs are inept and can't call a clear 4 pass. Correct. Jaden says, I'm going to say this game ends as Sharks 30-16 Knights. I feel like the Sharks should score more than 2 tries in this second half, especially considering Knights are quite well known for their second half shenanigans. They do fall away quite considerably. They usually do fall away very big time. We saw that last week against the Broncos. We saw that the week beforehand against the Cowboys. We've seen that against the Panthers. We see that against everybody. They just really struggle in second halves. They struggle over the whole game, but they do struggle in second half specifically. All right, fifth tackle over the Knights at their own 40. And Crossland will kick that ball down to the corner. Oh, no, sorry, straight down the guts. And Will Kennedy brings it out to the 25 to the 30. And he'll get that ball across here to Mulatalo with a great run. Mulatalo's away here. He'll get this ball to the 50. Good run by Mulatalo. He'll be at the 45 now, and the Sharks go back onto the attack early. And Nico Hines finds a bit of a hole, and he'll be taken down to the 40 on second tackle. Now, Blake Brayley, he'll get it across to Katoa. Katoa up to Kale Ero, and Kale Ero is going to be 35 metres away on third tackle. What a way to end the round. God help us. Our weekly dose of depression coming on up right after this with the Titans versus the Dolphins. Tom Hazelton with a great run to the 25, fourth tackle. Matt Croker made a good tackle to stop him. But Blake Brayley, very quick play the ball. He gives it across here to Nico Hines. And he'll be 10 metres out, fit tackle. It's a great set in from Cronulla. Blake Brayley, he'll go out to the back, left-hand side. Braden Trindle, Kennedy over the top. And that's a try time for the Sharkies. And it will be 22-10 here with the kid to come. I thought the sideline touch he was about to call that as a forward pass because he did stay there. He did stand still, but then he decided to move along with it. I think the on-field referee must have overturned him. I'd like to see this pass again because it looked like the touchy was going to stay still and call this as a forward pass, but either way, they've called it as a try, and the bunker can't overturn that. It's 22-10 with the kick to come. This was a great set here from Cronulla. It was a very good set. But I'd love to see that final pass again here from Nicho Hines. Oh, no, from Will Candy, sorry. And, yeah, Mulatalo will put that ball in the corner. No, the touch is just stopping there just so that he can see the angle. That's my bad. Yeah, the pass is fine. The pass is fine there. And try confirm for the Sharkies. So 22-10 with the kick to come. Boom. Well, at least they got off to the start that they need to see. I do feel like we're going to see a very high-scoring game in the next game. You can understand what I mean, though, in regards to that touchy, though. Like, the pass was, flat at best. The pass was flat at best. But, Andrew Eddinghausen is 82. Ronaldo Mulatalo at Shark Stadium is number 4 with 44. Steve Rogers is 3rd on 47. So he's getting up there. So Nicho Hines to take this kick to make it a 14-point game. I do think the Sharks just run away with this now. Surely. At least he had a bit of excitement for the first 20 Newcastle Knights fans. But if he misses this, it's still only a 12-point game. And Nicho Hines from the wing, he will... Oh, we'll get it. That's a beautiful kick from Nicho Hines. It's a 14-point game, and that, for me, probably wraps it up. I can't see the Newcastle Knights scoring 3 unanswered tries to take the lead here. You can't see that. It's a nice pass there from Will Kennedy over to the corner. Some people might have debates about the pass, but I think it's fine. And that's 3 consecutive Shark Park doubles from Ronaldo Mulatalo, and there's still 36 minutes left to go here. Hey, there's my new coach, Josh Hannay. Get around him. There's my new coach. There he is. What a man. Josh Hannay. Dasmate says Knights Grand Final. Well, Josh Hannay right now is actually helping his future team, the Gold Coast Titans, by beating the Knights. Because if the Titans can beat the Dolphins today, they will go out of 17th and go into 16th. Jaden says, and seeing our Sharks have been in patches of this season, finishing 5th is extremely fortunate. Ooh, I think that's one way to look at it. Overall form-wise, we probably deserve something like 7th or 8th. No, I disagree. Who are the teams that you, overall form-wise, would put above the Sharks to put them into 7th or 8th? But also, this is still a disappointing season. Let's not take that out of the equation. They were expected to be a minor premiership / top 4 team, and they're probably not looking at a top 4 right now. I still think the Sharks probably beat the Dogs under strength, and I don't know how the Storm will play next week against the Bronx, whether they play their full strength team or not. I doubt it. But it still has been an underwhelming season. You can look at the positive and say, okay, well, at least they came 5th, because at some point they were 9th and 10th, but I wanted to see, I thought, a lot better of the Sharks this year. I do still think they're a bit of a danger team if things click, because when they click, they are very good, but they just don't seem to click, and they need to start clicking, because the finals are in 2 weeks' time. Literally 2 weeks' time. And right now, they would be playing the Sydney Roosters in the first week of the finals, and that is a difficult game to predict. Laurie said, I just saw Freddie's grand final tip, Broncos versus Storm. He got Raiders beating the Broncos week 1, bro. Yeah, he's off his rocker. Broncos beating the Raiders in week 1. He had Broncos beating the Raiders in week 1 down there in Canberra, which is just crazy. Tasmate says, Sharks play to the level of the team they're playing, Dogs 13+. Well, I didn't say you're playing they're playing the Dogs. When are they playing the Dogs? Oh, you're talking about next week. Oh, sorry, I thought I was thinking about finals. Dogs aren't winning 13+ with a weekend roster, and the Sharks play for top 4. It wouldn't surprise me still if the Sharks found a way to throw it away, though. It wouldn't surprise me, knowing what Cronulla can be like this year. There's a reason why they're on scam for the majority of the year. Will Candy now brings his ball to the 23 on second tackle. I'm going to go with final score prediction of 44-10 here. I reckon they score about 20 more points here, Cronulla, in this game. And give us a bit of a blue ball at the old Fitty Bomb. Fitty Bomb is on the cards, but I'd say, yeah, probably about 20 more points. And I don't know if the Knights score again. Maybe give them 1. Out to Mulatalo, and Mulatalo is going to be at the 40 on 4 tackle. Tasman says, surely the Channel 9 media crew had to be getting paid to say the Broncos top 4, Broncos to the grand final. I just don't see them beating the Raiders in week 1, eh? And penalty to Cronulla here at the halfway point. Matt Croker gives away the penalty. I give away the penalty. So, yeah, look, I think that people don't realise how much pull the Broncos have as a club, especially, regarding media, but also especially in regards to the stadium they have. Of course, the NRL is going to want to have 2 games in the finals at Suncorp Stadium. That is a guarantee. The Dolphins are not going to get a home final. So the Broncos coming top 4 will guarantee them, well, if they if they... Oh, no, they would have to win week 1. Actually, they don't get 2 games at... No, they can't. No, I just realised they actually can't get 2 games at Suncorp, even in the top 4. Because they're not going to come top 2, and then if they win in 4, that's against Canberra, they get the week off, and then they play at Suncorp in the preliminary finals. But they still... Either way, they're guaranteed a final regardless, so it doesn't actually matter. Nico Hines here, underneath to Sisa Vitalica. He scored 1 try today with 3 metres out, third tackle. 3 metres out, third tackle. And short ball, Tommy Hazelton. Good defense there for the Knights. 4th tackle, 2 metres away. 4th tackle, 2 metres away. Blake Brayley out the back here to Braden Trindle. Trindle at the back to Nico Hines. Hines, great ball across. The ball comes across to Sione Katoa. Katoa steps inside. Katoa still going. 4 metres out, 5th tackle. 4th tackle. Moeni Hiroti gets it across to Nico Hines. He'll kick that ball into the corner. Way too hard of a kick, and it's going to be a 7 tackle set for Newcastle. Tyler says, even as a Broncos fan, I just don't understand some of the commentators tipping Bronx to the grand final. When have we grinded a win against a top team? I'll make it easy. We haven't. Well, you beaten Bulldogs twice. I'll give you that. You lost to Canberra. Lost to Storm. You did beat the Sharks with a comeback. You're down 24-8. A big score for you guys. You love that score. Came back against the Sharks, but that was a really horrific defensive game from both teams. And both teams were like, ugh, at the time. But the Broncos still won that game. Broncos have split at 50-50 with the Roosters this year, getting pumped in one of them and pumping them in the other one. Yeah, I'm not too sure about the Bronx. Glitch Point says, can you please tell me why Titans are first on your table? This isn't my table, mate. This is the official table. Yep. We just screenshot the table from NRL.com and move it across, mate. That's what happens. You know, you got to click on, man. You got to click on Glitch Point. Got to click on, use the old noggin. Titans haven't lost a game this season. Pretty obvious if we've watched the season so far. Knights get whacked in a tackle. We get the offload away still. Off to Saifidi, and Saifidi is 22 metres away from the line. Fit tackle. 30 minutes to go here of the game, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. 30 minutes to go. Sharks up by 14. Bradman Best, he goes out to the left. It's fit tackle. He throw that ball back onto the inside. And what the hell is old mate doing? Billy Burns, that's disgraceful. Just dive on the ball, dude. You're never running 100 metres for a try. You're never running 100 metres for a try, and he knocks the ball on. Desmate says, normally teams learn from defeats, grand final losses, whatever, but I don't think the Broncos have learned shit 2 years later, and they still try to score off every play. Absolute morons. They do try to score still off every single play. Reece Walsh is a big part of that. But again, as we saw last night, Reece Walsh is the epitome of sometimes it's incredible and sometimes it's not incredible. And sometimes it's really, really bad. It wasn't a grind win against Bulldogs or Sharks. That's great. Still beat Bulldogs and Sharks. 3 out of 3 games. We're in our 4th year of playing together under Fitzy. Finally won a finals game and could probably build off of that now. Then you throw AFB into the team as well. I really thought this was the year. Yeah, sure. But I don't really necessarily believe in Fitzgibbon as a coach. I think they've got the team. I think they've got a balanced roster there in regards to attack and defence, but it hasn't been clicking. And I do think they have the team there, so I do have to look towards the coach. And I don't usually always look towards the coach. Like, I don't think Des Hasler is the main reason for the Titans. I think Adam O'Brien is a part of the problem, like Des Hasler at the Knights. Not just his problem. Knights here, left-hand side, the 15. Short ball to the line. Jermaine McEwen, he's 10 metres out, third tackle. Yeah, there are some teams where you can look at the coach. Like Todd Payton could be a great shout for looking directly at the coach of the Cowboys. With a lot of the players on their roster. Fourth tackle here for the Knights. They're 3 metres away. Brayley out the back to Cogger. Cogger here to Crossland. Short ball, Kai Pearce-Paul. He'll be 5 metres out. Great tackle from Braden Trindle. And they go quickly right-hand side. And it's going to be another knock-on here from the Sharks. And it'll be Knights ball here at the 15. No forward pass from the Knights. So the Sharks will get the ball at the 10. They're very lucky. Very lucky. Johnny Sins aren't a good catcher, aren't a good coach, but a doctor or plumber. What's wrong with you, Daz? What's wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Hadohani says, will Warriors get a home game? Yes. No matter what, yes. They will not finish below 6th. They're on 34 points. The Panthers are on 31 points in 7th. There's only 1 game to go. So the highest the Panthers can finish on is 33. The lowest the Warriors can finish on is 34. So that is a guaranteed home final, yes. Not that home games have been guaranteed for the Warriors this season. They got to win against the Dragons, but on each side of that sandwich, they lost to the Titans at home, and they also lost to the Eels at home. And Molitalo, he'll bring this ball out here to the 23 on third tackle. Braden Trindle's come off the field here, interestingly enough. God bless him, hope he's all right. And now Mawani Hiroti gets his ball here to the 30 on 4 tackle. Get around Josh Hannay. What a man. What a beautiful man. Will Kennedy now to the 40 on 5th tackle. They keep showing Fitzgibbon and Josh Hannay in the coach's box. And 40-20 attempt here. No, that's going to be... Well, it was, but Knights get the ball to 13. Greg Martiu runs it really hard back to the 30. That's going to be first tackle. At least you love that from the Knights. At least they're running the ball back hard. And it's not like the Knights aren't running the ball hard into the line. You know, they are not doing well in regards to they're throwing their bodies at it, but it's just not going to plan for them. Are they resting Braden Trindle? Is that what they're doing? Because he doesn't look like he's injured. He's just kind of walking off the field. Third tackle now at the 45. It's still only a 14-point game here, but if they're resting, okay. Oh, bad mistake there from the Knights. It'll be a knock-on from them at the 40. And the Sharks will get another attacking opportunity here. So who goes into the 6th then for the Sharks? So Braden Trindle will come out. So that would mean that who goes into the 6? I genuinely don't know who plays their 6 with Trindle being off. I have no idea. Unless they're putting like Kennedy into the 6 and then somebody else to fullback, like a Katoa or Molotalo or something. I don't know who plays their 6 with him gone. So the Sharks here at the 35. Nicho Hynes will give it off to Kale Ero, and he's going to be at the 35. Blake Brayley to Teague Wilton. Wilton across now. Hohepa Peru. Is maybe Hohepa Peru. Is he maybe playing the 6? Atkinson's not playing today, Amy. He's not in the team. Nicho Hynes, otherwise that would have been an easy switch. So Arthur comes on here for Croker for the Knights. The Sharks are 15 metres away from the line. Third tackle. Blake Brayley, Nicho Hynes, short ball, Thomas Hazelton. He's going to be 4 metres out here from the line. All right, Sharks, if you score here, you take it to a 20-point deficit. Can't see Knights come back from that. Nicho Hynes, short into the line. Hamlin Uwelli, still going here. He'll be held up over the line. Held up over the line to be 5th tackle, Cronulla at the 10. Good work there from the Knights to hold him up, but shouldn't have been giving him as much space to even get close to the line there. All right, so Brayley at the 10. He'll go short side into the line. What are they doing? Then they get the offload away. Then they'll go back out to Talakai. They flick it again. Hazelton to Will Candy. Will Candy goes at himself. He kicks it through here for a dropout. Dropout coming up. Don't think Fitzy's a problem. It's just sometimes I think when Hynes' confidence is down, his form is down. And when Hynes' form is down, the whole team's form is down. That's great. Well, whose job is it to try and help him, to motivate him, to get him up? If Fitzy's not the problem, well then why can't this team, with a good rostered team that is predicted to potentially win the minor premiership this year, why can this team not win it? Why can they not do it? Why? Because at the end of the day, the coach's job is to get the boys up and at them and to set them up into... oh, that's not going to go 10. Oh, will that go 10? Yeah, it will go 10. So it's going to be Knights ball here, I think, at the 11. I think this is going to be Knights ball at the 11. Yeah, it's going to be Newcastle ball here. Nicho Hynes is still protesting this call. You can challenge it. They're not going to challenge it. There wouldn't have been an angle to overturn it. There wouldn't have been an angle that you could overturn that. So Knights ball here. We'll get this ball at the 11. Well, it ends up being a perfect dropout there. Didn't look great, but it does, luckily for them, bounce over the sideline 11 metres out. So Knights ball here, 16 metres away on first tackle, still 24 minutes to go. So Trindle's actually bandaging up his left, or his right ankle there. One of his ankles anyway. Yeah, ruled out with an ankle. So Braden Trindle has done his ankle, and hopefully he's all good for next week in the finals. God bless him. But he is out for the rest of this game with an ankle. And the Knights will be taken down at the 40 on third tackle here. Progress can win the grand final if Ashley Klein refs the game. 4 passes for Africa. For Africa? Where'd Africa come into this? And now the Knights beat the 48. 4 tackle. Out to Saifidi. This game is in a real just massive lull at the moment, realistically. Marcus says, do Wires go 6th and the lot of Sharks win? Yes, the Sharks are currently in 5th position, equal with the Broncos. The Warriors are currently in 6th position. Will Candy will grab this ball at the 12. No, I don't rate Hiroti as a player. Second tackle now for the Sharks at the 13. I don't rate him in general. I actually complained about him before, at the early part of this game. Third tackle now for the Sharks at the 25. They'll go left-hand side to Hiroti, and Hiroti will be at the 35 now, fourth tackle. Fourth tackle. Will the Knights score another try? I doubt it. They haven't really been in an attacking position all of this game so far. Blake Brayley with a 40-20 attempt. It's a really good angle. No. It's a great angle, but it goes to about the 24 or so. So the Knights will get the ball 24 metres out. I think the handicap of this game was like 18.5 for the 18.5 for the Sharks. It's getting close right now. 22 minutes left here. No, I don't think the Knights score. Maybe, but I don't think the Knights score. I still think the Sharks might have 1 or 2 tries left in them. I did say maybe a 44-10 final score, but then again, the Sharks haven't scored in about 10 minutes or so, and they are without Braden Trindle now, which will hurt their attack a little bit. Not that he was anything spectacular. Dom Young, he'll be 42 metres away. What's happened to Sammy? What do you mean what's happened to Sammy? At the back, Knights at the 45, and Jermaine McEwen will be at the 50 on third tackle. Third tackle, Jaden Brayley. He'll go left-hand side. Jack Cogger and Bradman Best has been locked down pretty well today. Bradman Best. Fourth tackle here at the 35. Nashons has come to the Knights. Not looking good for the Knights here, unfortunately. 14 points down with 21 minutes to go. And it'll be fifth tackle for Newcastle at the 30. Regardless, it's looking like Broncos and Sharks top 4 is going to come down to just that next week. If the Broncos can beat the Storm they're in, if the Broncos lose to the Storm, they need the Sharks to lose to... Oh, there's a lot of traffic there. The Knights are going to go for its ball here at the 15. They're all over the place. They're just running around now, and then they kick this ball through, and Tom Hazelton picks it up out of the air, and he'll be at the 20. Jeez, that was a bad kick. Yeah, you need to give me more, Ibrahim. You're just playing a guessing game with me right now. What do you mean, what's happened to Sammy? So, I know who you're talking about in regards to Sammy, but you need to give me more. Second tackle here at the 30. 20 minutes to go here in the game. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you're new around here. Sione Katoa will get this ball to the 40. 42, and it's going to be third tackle. And Nico Hines across here to Jesse Calhoun. They'll be at the 50. I wonder if there's even going to be another score in this game, to be fair. It's very much just pedestrian a bit at the moment. But Blake Brayley tries to get a bit of speed in. He'll get taken down at the 44. Get around your Albert, watching from Papua New Guinea. Bougainville. Go the Sharks. Sharks doing all right. And Greg Matthew catches that ball, and he'll be taken down over the sideline. That's really good defence from the Sharks. That's really good defence. They held him up and then dragged him over the sideline. That's really good from Billy Burns. That is really good from Billy Burns. They hold him up so that he doesn't hit the ground here, Greg Matthew, and then Billy Burns and it is Hiroti as well. They both just drag him over the sideline. That's really good defence there from Cronulla, and they'll go on the attack here with 20 minutes to go. Very good defensive play from the right edge of the Sharks. So they're still 75 points differential behind the Broncos. There's still 75 points differential behind them, but the Broncos do play first next week. They play, I think, on Friday night against Melbourne, or Thursday night, sorry. Thursday night against Melbourne, and the Sharks don't play until Saturday. Saturday against the Bulldogs. So the Sharks will know what they're playing for on Saturday. So right-hand side now for the Sharks, and Jesse Calhoun. He's going to get this ball 3 metres away from the line. 6 again for the Sharks. They're 3 metres out. Blake Brayley, he'll go at the back into Nico Hines. Hines, short ball into the line for Adam Fanua-Blake, and it's going to be second tackle 3 metres away. Second tackle 3 metres away. They roll it back to Blake Brayley, across to Nico Hines. Hines then to Cale Ero, and Ero will get arguably high tackle there. 4 metres out, they don't call it. Third tackle now for the Sharks to get across to Nico Hines. Hines to Tom Hazelton, and Hazelton is going to be 3 metres away from the line for tackle. 3 metres out, 4 tackle, back to Blake Brayley. Brayley to Nico Hines. That's, good defence. No, they flick the ball over the top for Mawene Hiroti. It's a great offload. And the Sharks will score to make it 28-10 here with a kick to come, Cronulla. It's a good offload there, which Hiroti was waiting for, and he will score the try. And the Sharks lead by 18 with a kick to come. Stephen says, this weekend's refereeing has been shocking. Agree. If this is a template for the finals, oh my gosh, agree. There's actually been quite a few beneficial calls for the Knights today, and yet they're still down by 18 points. That short pass was really good, but the defense there for the Knights was great. They just couldn't lock it up, and then they just get the ball across here to Hiroti, and Hiroti will put that ball down. So a difficult kick here for Nico Hines, but let's see if he can whack it in from the right-hand sideline. He's been good from his kicks today. They've got Tony Francis playing ahead of him. Well, I hope that Tony Francis can do his job, do what he needs to do. I think there's plenty of points in that game between the Titans and Dolphins after this, and obviously don't forget we will be live for that one. Jaden says, hopefully Kennedy just takes a pay cut and stays. He's a good underrated player, but I can't think of any teams who will offer him a contract unless he goes to the Super League. Yeah, fullback isn't exactly a position of need for many teams at all. Warriors have got their fullback. Storm have got their fullback. Multiple, plural. Raiders are fine. Titans have got too many. Broncos are fine. Dolphins are well and truly fine. Happy Farmworth went there to play fullback, but Hamiso is their fullback. Cowboys are fine with Drinkwater. Maybe you could argue Knights, but Knights have got plenty as well. Anyway, Nico Hines set the conversion here. I think Manly are fine. They've got Lee Hapawade, Tom Trbojevic, and Tolita Quora. Roosters are a shout, but like it just depends on when Tedesco starts to kind of slow down. So Sharks now from the right-hand side. 17 minutes to go here of the game. And Nico Hines will miss it. He will hit the post and miss it. So it will stay 28-10 into the Sharks with 17 minutes to go here of the game. Please assist in removing the banner from watching NRL. The banner? Who's the banner? What's the banner? You talking about me? Are you saying to remove me from watching NRL? Is that what you're saying? Jonathan? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Jonathan? You trying to ban me from watching the NRL? I don't know what you're saying. The banner. The banner? The banner? Who are we talking about? Who are we referring to? Alright, Sharks up by 18. And the Knights will go for a short enough kick. Knocked back here. And the Knights will get the ball at the 35. They will get the ball at the 35 here off the short kick. Now the Knights, Jake Arthur goes left-hand side. And Daniel Saifidi. Oh, sorry, Jacob Saifidi, I think it was. Either way, Saifidi. They're at the 25. They go left-hand side. Out to the Knights, who are now 20 metres out on third tackle. Third tackle here. And it's going to be a penalty in Newcastle. They go for a quick tap here. They go for a quick tap. Jaden Brayley, he'll go off to Saifidi. And now Saifidi's going to be 10 metres out of the line. First tackle. Titans will finish the season strong up the mighty Titans. Hopefully. Laurie, hopefully. And the Knights will be 8 metres out from the line. Second tackle. Still 16 minutes left here. Jaden Brayley. Then to Crossland. Jack Cogger will get locked down really well by Billy Burns. 15 metres out. Besides that play before where he knocked it on, Billy Burns has been pretty solid today. Jake Arthur at the back. Good defence there. They lock up Kai Pearce-Paul where he can't get the offload away. Fourth tackle at the 18. They're not really going too many places at the moment, Newcastle. Jaden Brayley off to Crossland. Crossland into the line for Leo Thompson. And Thompson off to the Bulldogs next year. He'll be 8 metres away from the line. Fifth tackle. Jaden Brayley gives it out. Jake Arthur. He'll just put that ball, little dinker into the air. Dom Young knocks the ball on. No, they're going to say backwards here. Kai Pearce-Paul. He'll give it out the back. And now they give it to Fletcher Hunt. And the Knights back to Dom Young. Dom Young still. He'll kick this ball through. And it's going to be the Sharks, Adam Fanua-Blake, who grabs it. Gets away from one tackle. He'll get this ball out to the 10, to the 15. And it's going to be a first tackle here for the... first tackle here for the Sharks, the 15. Seb Watson's in the building. Be careful, lads. Be careful now. Sharks will get this ball to the 25. Oh, he's lost the ball. And Kai Pearce-Paul will get it. 15 minutes to go of the game. Kai Pearce-Paul will have the ball 18 minutes out and 0 tackle. All right, Sharks. At least we get to see a little bit of their defense. The Knights have been the worst attacking team all season. Sharks have been around 5th, 6th for defense this year. I think maybe even 7th this year. They've been a top 4 defensive team for a while, but I'm not sure this year. I'll have to look at the ladder. Second tackle out to 5. Jaden Brayley out the back to Cogger. Cogger now to Hunt. Hunt looks for a big pass across. He can't do it. He runs his ball straight. It'll be 5 metres out. Third tackle. Third tackle. Back to Cogger. Cogger short into the line for Leo Thompson. And that should be locked up there at the 10. Can he get the offload away? He does. Hits the ground, but they get it out to the right. And over the top here for Dom Young. Knights are at least throwing the ball around. Not that it's really doing much, but they're at least throwing the ball around here and throwing a bit at the line. Now they'll be 5 metres out, 4 tackle. 4 tackle. Brayley out to Crossland. Crossland then to Jack Cogger. Cogger kicks his ball to the corner. And Sione Katoa with an easy grab. Will be a 7 tackle set for the Sharks, and that wasn't a good kick from Cogger at all. And the Sharks will just bring this ball out here to the 20, and they can take a quick tap and They'll be on the run here. 0 tackle at 31. Jaden says, how's Cross been this game? Well, not great. Not great, mate. Out to Kaylee Ero. Mwani Hiroti. He'll be at the 40, the 45 on first tackle. 13.5 minutes to go. Arguably a 6 again there, but it wasn't called. Now they give it off to Kale Ero. And Ero's going to get away here. Gets his ball to the 40 on the night side of the field. Good set here. Good set. Brayley off to Calhoun. Then off to Toby Rudolph with a big run to the 30. 28 metres away from the line. Third tackle for the Sharks. 25 metres out. Nearly lost that ball, but he's all right. Adam Fanor-Blake here with a huge run into the 10. He's 10 metres out. 4 tackles. Sharks are rolling on this set. Blake Brayley very quickly. Left-hand side. They get the ball offloaded to Nico Hines. And Nico Hines with 3 metres out. I thought he was going to score there. But fifth tackle is 3 metres away. Blake Brayley. To go left-hand side, you got numbers galore. You got numbers galore here. Will Kennedy. He cuts it back in short. Don't know why. He will kick that ball through. And Fletcher Hunt will get the ball at 1 metre out. It's a penalty. Sharks, that was shit. That was shit, Sharks. That was absolute shit. That was shit house on the attack when they actually got into the attacking line. Like, they did so well for 80 metres and then just did absolutely shit house when they actually got into an attacking position. Will Kennedy, really stupid there. Like, you have numbers galore on the left-hand side and he decides to cut back into the right. But anyway, it'll be a penalty against Ronaldo Molitalo and the Sharks. Still a bit of a push and shove here. Today could decide who gets a spoon. Yep, sure. There's only 2 games to go, so. Oh! Greg Marzio nearly got binned there. Sutton had a stern talking to him. And he's just saying that Greg Marzio is running 30 metres there. Well, it's funny that we saw, you know, the Storm get a penalty. The Storm got, the Roosters. No, who was it? Storm and Panthers, wasn't it? Storm and Panthers, and the Panthers received a penalty despite the penalty originally going to the Storm, or knock on to the Storm against the Panthers, and then they penalised the players. Anyway, inconsistency from the NRL again. First tackle now for the Knights at the 20. Now to the 30, 11.5 minutes to go. Here's second tackle. Sutter says, well, I mean, this game has been over for a while. It was fun at first. Yeah, look, it's not surprising what the result is here. But, like, it's still quite a few. Like, that was a high tackle, but, like, it's just quite a few controversial calls that have benefited the Knights here today. Third tackle, which is why it's so funny that it's 18-point gap in favour of the Sharks. Hey, give it across now to Frizzell, and Frizzell will be fifth tackle at the 42 on the Sharks side of the field. Jaden Brayley. 10 minutes to go here in the game, folks. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. We've got the Titans-Dolphins right after this. Will Kennedy goes up in the air, and Sharks get the ball to 15. Don't forget, we'll be live for Titans-Dolphins right after this. Nico Hines off to Sione Katoa. And Katoa's going to spread out to the left-hand side. He might have space here. He might have some space. He can't get the offload away, though, and he'll be at the 20 on second tackle. You really do need to score some more points, though, if you want to compete with the Broncos' points differential, those Sharks. You do still need to score some more points. Third tackle at 25. Kale Ero. Back to Blake Brayley. This set's not as good as the previous one for the Sharks. They'll only be at the 30 on fourth tackle. 30 on fourth tackle. Very slow, this. Adam Fanor-Blake, Toby Rudolph. That's a good run from him, though, and he'll be at basically the 40. Yeah, underwhelming set, that. Blake Brayley to Nico Hines, and he's just going to dink that one to the corner. It's a 40-20 attempt, but again, Marzio's waiting back there nicely for it, and he will run this ball straight hard into the 35, and it'll be Knights ball at the 35, 37 on first tackle. Does anyone think there's more tries in this game, or no? Maybe this ends this way. Second tackle here at the 48. Matt Croak, Tyson Frizzell, Jake Arthur, Dom Young, and it's going to be third tackle now at the 45. Brendan says, haven't scored points since Trent will come off. Yep. Knights ball here at the 45. Yeah, since Trent will come off, they haven't scored anything. Fourth tackle at the 33. The Knights have only scored in the first, 10 minutes of this game. Or a knock on there from Newcastle, and Will Kennedy will pick it up at the 25. Maybe you might have a space, and there's Molitalo away, the 50, the 45, the 40, back into Will Kennedy. Kennedy steps back on the inside, steps around, back to Molitalo will score a hat-trick, and the Sharks will go on with the game here. And they are up 32-10 with a kick to come, and it's Molitalo off the back of a knock-on from the Newcastle Knights, 70 metres away. The Sharks will break down the field, and they will score to make it 32 points to 10. Just disband this shit club so you can see them every week. Seb, well, if you're not liking the Knights, well, you wouldn't be too excited about the next game. Because the next game's between the team below them. And, but funnily enough, that team below them has actually beaten the Knights twice this year in the Titans. Oh, thank you, Daz, mate. Well done. Thank you, Daz. Wow. Wow, Daz, you really are something spectacular. I really appreciate your input here on the channel, Daz. To answer my question, Daz says, yes, there will be tries. Well, you might be wrong, because I said, will there be another try? And there's only been one. So tries, plural, means another one has to come. And you said it after that try. So that means you still need 2 tries, so you're going to be wrong in the end, Daz, mate. You need 2 tries in 8 minutes from this point. You are a muppet. You are a muppet, Daz, mate. So you just called 2 tries in this last 8 minutes here, have you, Daz, mate? Oh, my gosh, you're a muppet. Moses says need a candy as well. No, Daz. No, don't shoot the messenger, mate. You said it. I read your comment out after the try was scored. You said there still will be tries. That's plural. That's 2. So we need to see 2 more tries in this game within the next 7.5 minutes, or you get hidden from the channel. You get hidden. You get hidden. Tries is plural, Daz. It is plural, Seb, see? See, Seb gets it. Here comes the Fortnite dance. Well, he scored a hat-trick here today, the old Mulatalo. Yeah, GG, Sunday. This time is ticking on your time here in the channel, Mr. Daz, mate. The time is ticking. Nico Hines will make it 34 points to 10. 24-point game. 7 minutes to go of the game. And Daz, mate, you got 2 more tries to come. Sanchez shot, boys. Thanks, job well done. Yeah, look, the Sharks are going to convincingly come away with this game in the end. The first 20 was very deplorable, but at the very least, the final 60 has been a lot better. You can't really ask for too much more here from the Sharks overall. Like, you could ask for a lot better in the first 20, but at least they're kind of finishing to the line rather than, you know, falling and limping to the line, which we've seen in recent weeks. Like against the Titans, they dominated the first. Well, they didn't. The first 15 was Titans, and then the final 25 minutes of that first half was all Sharks. The first 25-odd minutes of the second half was all Sharks, and the Titans kind of came back in the last 15. So the Sharks haven't been an 80-minute team, and today, at least they're pushing through to the line. I want to see good out of this last 7 minutes as well. The Sharks will get the short drop out at the 25. It's actually a really nice little dink there for the Knights, but the Sharks get it. So, yeah, at least they're finishing strong to the line. I want to see a good last 7 minutes here from Cronulla rather than them just kind of knowing that they've won this game and it's done and dusted. Daz, Mr. Sharks, I actually don't care. Is that right, Daz? Penalty to Sharks. You saying you don't care about being part of this channel, Daz, mate? Is that what you're saying, Daz? You don't care about being a part of this channel? Is that what you're saying, Daz, mate? Let me just clarify. Let me just confirm what you are saying here. Let me just confirm. Is this what you're saying, Daz, mate? All right, Nico Hines on first tackle. Now to Jesse Colquhoun, who will be at the 45. Well, Daz, mate, we're going to have to see you in 5 minutes. Let's not get that disgraceful kind of commentary in this chat. And I expect an apology when you come back, because I know you love this channel, Mr. Daz, mate. You've been here for many years. I'm going to expect an apology when you come back from that 5-minute time out there, Mr. Daz, mate. Deary me. Deary me. Second tackle here for the Sharks. Blake Brayley gives it off to Nico Hines. That's a 6 again for Cronulla. They're 25 metres out. Sunday says something, no more tries. I'm not actually hiding Daz, mate, by the way, lads. But he does deserve that timeout for saying he doesn't care if he's here or not. Rogue streamer. No, it's a rogue moderator at the moment. Rogue moderator. All right, so second tackle here for the Sharks. Blake Brayley gives it to Hoeba Peru, who did end up playing coming into that 6 when Trinder went off. Teague Wilton, he's 3 metres away from the line. Third tackle. Ronaldo Mulatalo, he's going over to the right-hand side. Look for a 4th try. No, Jesse Colquhoun. Through the middle, it'll be 4th tackle. 1 metre out from the line. Scott James says, will you stream the Dolphins Titans? Scott, you're very well aware we stream every single game here live, Scott. You're here every game. You're here all the time, mate. Mulatalo, 3 metres. Well, that's a penalty. Oh, it's a ball. It is a ball plant, to be fair. It is a ball plant. It is a ball plant. But he does get literally pulled back, but it is on Mulatalo. He does plant the ball. Pretty sure. So it's a penalty to Newcastle for back chat. Yeah. Penalty for back chat. Pretty sure I saw Daz in an MMA Guru live chat once before, now that I think about it. Probably. He loves all sport, the old Daz. He does get around all sport. So penalty for the sent there against Fortnite Boy, and the Knights will be at the 25. Bradman Best, he'll get this ball to the 30. Now to the 35. And Bradman Best taking down first tackle. Sharks have defended him quite well today. All right. Knights now, right-hand side, off to Jermaine McEwen. And McEwen is going to be at the 44, second tackle. Also, by the way, guys, I'm not going to promise a great deal because I've done plenty of promises before and not lived up to it. But there is going to be a video on BKRtravel tomorrow. There is going to be a video on BKRtravel, our travel channel, tomorrow. And that's going to be a penalty here to the Knights. Oh, I think he's just lost that ball there. I think he's just lost it. But 4 minutes to go, and the Knights will get one final opportunity. So if you are subscribed to BKRtravel, go subscribe to it in the pinned comment. There's a couple of videos there for you guys to still watch from previously, but we've got a video coming out on BKRtravel tomorrow for you. 4 minutes and 3 seconds to go, and I'm going to film some of my Malaysia travel to chuck it up there. Bit of Vietnam. Still got heaps of videos from India I haven't put out yet. So first tackle now for the Knights, the 25. 3 minutes 50 to go here of the game. Sharks, I want you to finish through the line strong. I don't want to see you give up here and just allow them to score a try, which you don't mind doing. Great offload there from the Knights, Kai Pearce-Paul, but they will actually lose about 3 metres from it. Jaden Brayley, second tackle here at the 23. Jake Arthur, he's going to go left-hand side to Frizzell. Frizzell off here, and Jack Cogg will be taken down 22 metres out, third tackle. Jaden Brayley off to Tyson Frizzell. Frizzell now into the line. He'll get away from a couple, and then he'll give it across here to Jake Arthur. And Dane Gagai now. Gagai pushes away from one. He's still just stepping. What's happening right now? Someone just tackled the guy. And it's going to be 4 tackle at the 10. 4 tackle at the 10. Knights here. Jake Arthur. Jake Arthur steps. He'll get crunched down at the 5. And Brayley back underneath. And the Knights will score to make it 34-14 here with a kick to come underneath the post. That's poor defense from the Sharks. That's poor defense from the Sharks, dude, and you got to rip into them, man. They're not finishing their game strongly. Like, honestly, like, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. You can't finish your games like this, Sharks. You win games, but at the end of the day, you've got to do better than what we're seeing. You've got to do better than what we're seeing in regards to how you finish off games. You can't just fall asleep. You cannot just fall asleep, Sharks. You cannot just fall asleep. It's really disappointing from the men. It's like they just say, whatever, especially considering they are fighting the Broncos for that top 4 spot. You needed to win this game by a big margin to even have a potential chance of overturning it next week, and yet you're going to allow the Knights to bring it back to an 18-point lead, which is like fine. The Knights do get the kick. It's fine, but you can't be doing this here, Sharks. You need to finish your games off strongly. You need to finish your games off strongly. That's going strong today. Must be running out of travel money. I'm not doing anything, man. I just sit here. It's YouTube. Blame YouTube, mate. Blame YouTube. Blame YouTube, mate. All right. So 2 minutes to go here of this game. And then we will have Titans versus Dolphins coming up right after this in 10 minutes' time. If the Titans get a win there, the Knights will go to last. They will go to last if the Titans do win their game. All right, Sharks will kick this ball off deep, and the Knights Jake Arthur will bring this ball out. Still on here 2 tries. You are still on here 2 tries, Daz. You are. You are still on here 2 tries. Yeah, in terms of just getting the 2 points, they're fine. But in terms of actually, winning by a big margin to compete with the Broncos' points differential, it's just not good enough here. And it's just a typical trend in regards to how Sharks do finish off their games. Knights to Fletcher Hunt, then off to Leo Thompson. Leo Thompson gets it across, and that will go over the sidelines. The Sharks, what we want to see here is you put a try in to finish off the game well. We want to see you put a try in and finish off the game well. Minute 30 to go here of the game. The Sharks will get the ball about 30 metres away here from the Knights line. Or maybe even kick a field goal. Jay will get happy for that. Jay will be super happy with that. Olivia must have had a big night in the Jews. That does sound a bit of Olivia. All right, Mawani Hiroti. He's going to be 24 metres away here from the line. A minute 10 to go here of the game. Blake Brayley to Nico Hines. Hines underneath, and they'll give it to Jesse Colhoun. He's going to be 20 metres out now, second tackle. Can the Sharks finish it off? Blake Brayley, Nico Hines, Toby Rudolph. Will they get another try? 9 metres out. You might be right here, Daz, if they can do it. You might be right if they can do it. Nico Hines. And Nico Hines! Oh, he's going to be half a metre short from the line. Forward tackle. 40 seconds to go. 40 seconds to go. And short ball into the line. And the Sharks will score a try. And the Sharks will score a try through Braden Hamlin-Yawele. And it is going to be 38-16 with the kit to come. So at least the roasting has turned into the roasted of the Newcastle Knights. At least the Sharks will finish off the game strongly. And Daz, mate, you live to fight another day, Daz. Boom! There's the 2 tries. There's the 2 tries. Spent my pokie money, $451. Is that what you won? You won $450? Good stuff, Olivia. Good stuff. But Daz, mate, you do live to fight another day. And it will be a nice one for Braden Hamlin-Yawele, who will just put that ball down. Try confirmed. And it is game over. Red Rover. Exactly right, Jaden. This is my problem. So Jaden says 34-10 was a satisfying scoreline, all because of that penalty over back chat of all things too. We give up a shit try like that all the time. Absolutely. And that's the thing. That's why I'm happy that the Sharks have still scored here, because it's them pushing through to the finish line. It's them really finishing off the game well. And despite that try, it does show that they're still just not completely giving up. It's frustrating that they gave up that try for sure. They should not have been giving up that try. But the point is that you just want to see... You just need to see this team finish the game off strongly. And that wasn't what it was looking like until they did just score that try there. So, yeah. Dasmate says one for the good guys. Are you referring to me being a bad guy? Dasmate, you want a 5-minute timeout, son? Well, it wouldn't really matter, actually, because we'd see you on the Titans game. And this timeout here doesn't land over there. I would like to... yes. Yes. So, Sharks... To make this a 24-point win, make it a friggin' 40. He will. Nico Hines will make it a friggin' 40, baby. 40-16, the score for the Sharks. Impressive at times, unimpressive for a lot of the time. Ultimately, the Sharks will win by 24 points, which puts them up into equal fourth with the Broncos and also the Warriors. But the Warriors will drop to 6th. The Sharks will be in 5th. The Broncos will be in 4th. Broncos plus 156. The Sharks are plus 77. 87, 91. So they need to see a good old 60 swing next week with the Storm Broncos and also the Sharks and Bulldogs games. But we'll obviously wait to see next week. We'll wait to see next week to see how that one pans out. For the time being, guys, we're going to finish off the round with my weekly dose of depression as the Titans will be taking on the Redcliffe Dolphins. I think plenty of points are going to be scored in that game. So I'll see you over there. Obviously, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'll see you in 9 minutes' time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya, baby. See ya, baby.